Hey everybody, Gizmo here. Got my libation. Hopefully you've got something of your own. Welcome to the channel. Pikachu and I want to talk about some Fallout 76 tonight. It's Fallout Friday, but on a Sunday. Yeah. Friday was rough. Actually, this whole week was rough. We missed MechWarrior Monday. I'll be playing tomorrow on Monday to try to get that at least squared away. We missed Fallout Friday because of just a lot of illness, and so finally today, Sunday before Labor Day, we have a chance to actually play some Fallout. So I do want to play some Fallout. We're going to play some Fallout 3, which again, I've never played before, so this will be entertaining for me. And we'll be talking Fallout 76 because we just had QuakeCon a couple weeks ago. I want to talk about a little bit about what's going on with that, kind of the things that they announced at QuakeCon that are, from my perspective, both good and bad, and things that they kind of avoided talking about. So I wanted to kind of see what we can do. But anyway, cheers. Welcome to the stream. Some good stuff there in my frosty mug. Okay, so let's jump in. So we're just playing for the very first time here. No, I don't want to wait. Never mind, cancel. That's what I want to do. Bring up Pip-Boy. So I can investigate the nearby town of Megaton for information about Dad. Okay. So anyway, I've been sitting down in that spot. So what we're doing is talking about Fallout 76. And if you guys have any questions or anything about Fallout 76, please do not hesitate to ask. Would love to hear what's going on. That's not something working real quick. Hold on a second. Just want to make sure something's working right.
Hello, my beautiful America. This is President Eden, and it's time we have to talk.
Oh, hello.
It's time
yes.
we discuss something rather important. The issue at hand is, well, my presidency. The question has been raised, I know, as to just how I came to be elected to this most illustrious office, or whether or not I had been elected at all. To that, I must answer, of course. Of course, I was elected. Sweet America. Of course. Isn't the right to vote the very foundation of a democracy?
Okay, so, talking about Fallout 76. The one thing, so first of all, I was really happy to see that they had this panel where they had everybody kind of come along and talk about kind of what was going on with everything. I like that they had not just Todd Howard up there talking, although his voice is pretty important. It's not the only voice, and I think it's important for us to hear from the dev director, which is great, who's also done quite a lot of work on the other stuff that they've got going on with, hold on.
Democracy, dear America. Democracy, now and forever.
I'm at a loss. There we go. All right, hold on.
But don't be sad.
Oh, well, there you are then. That was
the Enclave
unexpected.
Is working tirelessly to rebuild this.
All right,
great
I have to figure out this different lockpick dynamic because it's not like Skyrim. Just in essence what I know. So in Fallout 4, the same dynamic as Skyrim is like, oh well, okay, that's easy enough. The door opens small edge. Okay. Anyway, so from my perspective, the big thing about this is her. Okay, this is what we begin. The big things they talked about were there's actually 5 areas I want to talk about. So these may be my 5 things that I liked about the a letter from Vault. Cool. 5 things I liked about the Fallout 76 panel at QuakeCon. Okay, so number 1, the camp blueprints. This is both a good and a bad. What I liked is that they kind of, at the very end, they started answering questions, many of which I had actually asked during the top 8++ things that I didn't like, and I'll put a link at the top to link to that, a little card that'll pop up and link there, which was, what happens if your stuff gets nuked? They didn't answer one question that I was asking, which was, okay, so what about your stuff? If you've got, does your stuff persist in world if you're not there, like it does in Conan and some other games, or does it, what do you call it, or does it get packed up at the end. And I don't really feel like we had a good answer to that question from that panel. What we got, though, was that you can create blueprints of your stuff, which is kind of cool. And that those blueprints will help you rebuild. And you can pack up your stuff into the camp and then move it somewhere else and then do it there. Now, one of the panelists, I believe his name was Greg. I'll have to go back and look. I will double check that. He said that what do you call it? That he pointed out the problems of if you are doing blueprinting and you're not in the same place that you were before because the terrain is all different and all that stuff. I thought, wow, exactly, that's what I'd love to know about. And they didn't really talk about it. So I'm a little disappointed by that, but that's okay.
Thinking quite a bit lately about something we can all relate to. Something
it was okay. It all worked out, I think, in the end. But it was just like one of those, yeah, I was hoping for more, and I didn't get more. All right. Hey, Springville Elementary. Okay. The other thing that kind of came out of that was that you could blueprint stuff. So my guess is that if you just build it, it's not blueprinted by default, and so you're going to have to go in and blueprint it in order to get access to that functionality, which can be good, but at the same time, this is interesting. This looks intentionally put here so that you can climb up here and see what's up here.
Bats of ash and hickory. Their name, the Capital Congressman. Their purpose, to make you, dear America, revel in the joys of sport and sunshine, if only for an afternoon. Now, ask yourself this. What if the
bounce up and down on that for a while? There we go, all right.
What if they could compete with baseball
again, I think it was interesting, but it seemed to me like it's one of those things where, like, you're doing something and all of a sudden you get nuked, and then,
baseball will live again.
There's something in there that's going to give us rats. Oh, there are baddies in there, that's what I thought. Okay,
all
big
will
surprise.
live again. This country will live again.
Are you a baddie?
For now, my America, we must part.
Hello?
Restoring
welcome, weary traveler. You look like a traveler in need of relaxation and the finest of chemical assistance. Well, wander no more, my good friend, for I am Doc Hoff, procurer of the finest of medical goods and chemical assistance. Now, how may I help you? I provide food, drinks, and discreet chemicals to discerning customers around the wasteland. I help ease the suffering of my fellow man. For a price. I don't have a home office exactly, but I organize much of my trade with Ernest Rowe in Canterbury Commons.
Okay. Goodbye.
Let's see what the good doctor has in his magic bag.
I have
shall
10
we?
caps. You know what? I don't... schematics for a nuka grenade. You know what? Thank you a lot. Appreciate that. I have to go now.
Cheers, pal. Watch yourself out there.
Good idea. Thank you, Doc Hoff. Okay.
Keep it on the level and everything will be fine.
Alright. Alright. So, anyway, so it seems to me like, though, that there's an opportunity, though, for those blueprints to be not... You're building something and you haven't finished it yet. And then you get nuked or whatever, somebody comes along and blows up your base. And so I'm a little concerned about that. Hello. Because it just... because I just think we've got a lot of stuff that we kind of need to worry about here. I'm over encumbered. All right, hold on a second here. Anyway, my concern is, like I said, that you can end up with a situation and then suddenly you're not going to have, what do you call it? It won't be able to, you won't have made it before you blueprint it and then it all just sucks. Okay. Oh, there we go. Alright. I would like to move to apparel. And let's wear that. Let's see. Here's the Raider Badlands armor. Is this better or worse than what I have? $8.15.
This is President Eden, and you're listening to Enclave Radio, the voice of America.
I love the hair on Vault Boy. That's pretty funny. How much over am I? 214 of 210. Those weigh 3 apiece. Let's drop. There we go. Okay. Alright. So. Empty. Alright. That's what's empty. Alright. So the next thing is the griefing dynamic. And they talked a lot about this because there's a lot of different things to kind of discuss here. The first one is that it is a wow.
I'm President John Henry Eden, and you're listening to Enclave Radio. Voice,
sure.
Warmth,
okay.
And reason
is that you nothing actually starts until level 5, which I think is really good. That's nice. That it's going to be a little bit of time before it's going to be a big deal, which is cool.
Never be destroyed from the outside.
And then the other thing is that there are some limitations on it. Oh,
it will be because we destroy ourselves.
Okay. But the other thing that was kind of funny was the pacification. So you can actually set a pacification flag so that the way that the dynamic works, the way they explained it was that if you are attacking somebody, you can attack somebody and sort of like slapping them around. And that's, sort of just doing partial damage to them. But you're not actually going to really do full damage. If you engage a person who's slapping you, sort of like, they've pulled off their gauntlet and they've slapped you across the face, then you can, start shooting at them, and then you go through that dynamic. Which can be kind of cool if you are, willing to go through and do that. It's nice to have that kind of flexibility. The challenge, though, I think, and this is where the whole thing sort of comes into play, is if you have hello. What are those? Sorry. They're body parts. Yummy. Okay then. Yeah, I might come back here and clean this place out, but I really don't want to be here any longer than I have to be. Okay. The other thing I think that was nice was that they had, like I said, the pacification thing, so that if you were shooting and somebody would like jump in front of your bullet, that it didn't actually damage them. It didn't trigger the, hey, do you want to fight dynamic, which was nice. Instead, it would just kind of work through itself, and you would end up not having that as a you would end up sort of initiating combat that way, which is kind of nice. So.
Time to tear you apart. Kick it. Look at this little boy playing tough guy.
Critical strike. Yeah. Okay. What you got? 32. Oh. No, that's the same. And that's worse. Okay, never mind then. Crap. Boy, you guys just don't have crap that I want. Hey, Pikachu! Yeah. Hey, Pikachu's not that mad. Although we did just get in a fight,
again,
so.
America the Magnificent. This is President Eden, and I was hoping we could talk. Did you know there are those amongst us who would shatter our hopes for peace,
like I said, the nice thing about the pacification is that it'll allow you to sort of play the game without worrying about initiating combat with people that you're not willing. I just want to run around and explore. I don't want to get attacked, and so you just kind of go, okay, fine, let's just do it. And so you can set the pacification, and then that way, you know, your bullets aren't going to damage anybody else. You're not going to worry about it, which is kind of nice. All right, got a lot of stuff here. Ooh, there's an open metal box. Let's put the metal box. Stuff I can't really use. Crap. Okay. No metal box that has stuff. Nope, that one's empty. That one has bottle caps. Ooh, I could use bottle caps. You're wet, Z-Bolt Lightning?
Common criminals with access to some antiquated technology. Criminals who have had the audacity to claim
normal
this
sense or in
country's
a
most
somehow
important
sexual sense?
military installation, the Pentagon, as their own personal clubhouse.
Anyway, so the last thing they talked about was the griefing mechanism, and I really like what they've done with this. I thought it was really kind of funny. Which is, so we talked about pacification, and we said, okay, so let's say that you've got something and you don't, and you don't have pacification set, or you're just slapping somebody around. Eventually, you can actually kill that person. Oh my God! Die already. There we go. Killed one of them, but anyway, so then we have ooh, a Chinese pistol, a Raider Sadist armor. That's okay. Thanks, but no. Over encumbered and cannot run. News. Okay, let's check what we got. But the griefing, let's say that you are being slapped by somebody. And you just do like, I don't want to deal with this person, okay? So you decide that you're not going to do it with this person. You're just going to like, well, fine, leave them alone. Because they're slapping you, they're still doing a little bit of damage to you all the time. And eventually they can kill you. At which point, you can end up dying from that, right? So what it does, and this is where the mechanic comes into play, is if you are griefing someone like that, you're just kind of attacking them over and over again. Then what you can do is, is there somebody there? No, it's a globe. Surgical tubing. I'm assuming it's important because it seems to be all over the place. Ooh, good bottle caps. Cool. All right. But if you kill somebody and they've not engaged in combat with you, so in essence you've just sort of smacked them around for a while, and you've killed them, then what happens is that you become a wanted murderer. Now what this does, and this is the kind of the cool part, is it puts a bounty on your head that will be paid out of your caps when you die, if you die.
This is
and it will also hi, yes, bounty. If you'll be paid out of your caps if you're killed. It puts a red star on the map of everybody else in the world, so everyone on the server can see you and know what's going on. Oh, come on, man, this gun is so freaking slow, man. Oh, come on. Damn, that sucked. Okay. Alright, she's got, alright, ooh, she has armor. Not that good of armor, okay. And then you can't see anybody else on the map. So the other nice thing about this is that with the griefing is that you can't see the other people, that you can't see the person that you killed. So you're invisible to them. And when you're hiding, you're actually visible to everybody as well, which is kind of cool. So it actually makes it so that you can't actually be seen by anybody. Oh, crap. God, I just don't have anything. I don't have good weapons.
Where?
Oh!
No!
Down a little bit. No. Come on out. Okay. I've only got 9 rounds left in this thing.
this is John Henry Eden, your president. There are some things that you can talk about. That's all right.
Come on,
We
physically
live in
attack
an
it.
age
Come
of
on.
poverty, greed, violence,
Okay,
destruction.
fine. Attack.
Indeed,
Attack
the
it.
very seat of the federal government, Washington, D.C.
I don't have enough ammo. Yeah, I know I don't have enough ammo.
To what is now known as
For anyone you can about 76. Yeah, it's actually, so it's definitely got a baseball bat. Okay, there we go.
How did your leaders allow the most powerful nation on Earth? The answer is
Oh,
really
okay, I didn't
quite
do that. All right.
simple.
So, the wanted stuff, though, when you get, when you are wanted, which is kind of cool, then, like I said, it puts a red star on the map for everybody around you that they can see you. You can't see anybody else. You can travel, fast travel around the map pretty significantly, which is kind of cool. Ooh, hunting rifle, nice. And it does have, and so you can fast travel to where somebody is. And then, of course, they show up on your map because they're wanted. They become a wanted murderer. And then you can, when you kill them, you can get their stuff, or at least some of their stuff. And then you can, usually junk. And then you also get a bounty that's going to be paid from their caps. So you're going to get both of that stuff. Both of those things, which is kind of cool. The to your question, Law Dog, and thank you for watching. The crafting mechanics, we actually don't know all that much about them yet, from what I've seen. I've been looking around. I really haven't found a whole lot about that yet. I will keep digging around and see if we can get anything else. With the beta coming out in about a month-ish, month and a half, maybe 6 weeks, there is a typo about October 12th being a release date. Obviously, that's not correct. But there was also a, but that's probably about when they're going to release the beta. They want to do it about a month in advance of the actual game going live. The one thing I'll say about that for the beta program is the beta is going to be a stress test. It's going to be, are we getting all the kinks out before we launch the game? Not, are there any mechanics we want to tweak before the game starts? So we're not really testing the game from a mechanics perspective in so much as, say, like Black Ops 4 was, and they did the private server stuff. They did a lot of nerfing and buffing on guns and the armor and stuff and some of the perks. They changed a lot of things while the beta was going on. Now, I suspect Bethesda is going to be looking at things during beta and saying, how are these dynamics working out? But in essence, the game is locked down. There's not going to be a whole lot for us to tweak between beta launch and game launch. But what I also heard Todd Howard say during that panel at QuakeCon was that they are going to be doing a lot of things as the game is progressing. It's going to be a live environment. So my guess is that a lot of the crafting mechanics are going to be very similar to what they are in Fallout 4 and even in Fallout 3. We're going to have a lot of the same stuff. I don't know if they're going to have like the blueprints like apparently they have here in Fallout 3. Or if it's going to be more like Fallout 4 where you know these things. Definitely VATS, as Junebug is pointing out here, is the same thing, but in live. What's going to happen is it's because of VATS, what you're going to be able to do is more than, say, actually targeting individual body parts and doing that kind of stuff. It's going to be more about finding enemies that are hidden in the foliage, because apparently the foliage is really lush and dense and just it's hard to see through. They told us one story that was pretty funny about one of the guys. He was set up and you can build musical instruments in the game, which I think is just an interesting idea. And he has a chair and he sits in the chair and he's got his tuba and he's just playing his little sousaphone, bump, 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 bump. And people are like, okay, what's this dude just sitting out in the middle of the road with a tuba? You know, and so what they'll do is they'll attack him. And what he's done is he's lined in the foliage on both sides of the row a whole bunch of turrets. And so if you engage with him, his turrets engage with you. And he just wipes people out that way. I think it's actually kind of funny. It works about once per person. But you're like, okay, I learned my lesson there. I'm either going to get a sniper rifle and attack you from much further away, or I'm just going to leave you alone, one of the two. So I'm intrigued to see how that's going to play out. In terms of some of the meds, they didn't really get into any of that in what I've seen so far. My guess is that it's going to have some of the same effects that some of the other ones are going to have in terms of, like, you know, if you're playing as a sniper in Call of Duty, it's not going to slow the game down so you can target your sight in and pling somebody, but it does kind of slow your breath and sort of focus you in on that spot. so that you can do those things. It just doesn't slow time because it really can't. So I think the same things are going to be happening with some of the other things. I mean, obviously, you're going to have a whole bunch of things happening with the perks. Your charisma, obviously, is a big one. The C in special is kind of a weird one because it actually focuses... I mean, that's designed to influence NPCs, right? And there's no NPCs because every other human in the world is a person. So your charisma of your character has absolutely zero bearing on how that other human being is going to perceive you. Instead, what it's going to do is it's going to influence how you interact with the other players on your team. So if you're teaming up, if you're doing a lot of things with a group, then your charisma skills, and especially your charisma perks, are going to come in very handy. You're going to be able to sort of help out your teammates by having your charisma perks. So that's going to be a little bit interesting. I'm curious to see how that's going to work. But to kind of continue on with perks, the one thing that I think is interesting is that they are using this card system, and they've got like booster packs where you open the booster pack and you get a whole bunch of cards, and they look like magic cards kind of. But the idea being that you've got slots for each of your attributes. So the special attributes, you've got access to those, and then you can sort of slot in based on your level different cards into different slots, and you can kind of play around them, and you can level up those cards so that they can get better. You can take 2 level 1s and make a level 2. So if you get duplicates, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be a good thing because then you can slot it together and then make a more powerful one. Might cost you more points to use, but you're also going to get more benefit from it. So that'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. But as you're building up your character, you're going to get more and more cards, and you're going to get up to level 10, you're going to get a booster pack every 2 levels. So you right at level 2, you should get a booster pack, and then again, as you go through the game until you hit level 10, then it's every 5 levels, you'll get another booster pack. And it's going to allow you to do some things that you don't normally get. So every time you level up, you do get to pick a perk card from the stuff that's available. But the booster packs are going to give you cards that you might not normally pick. And so what will happen there is that you're going to have the ability to kind of see, okay, well, maybe I want to try this one that I never would have picked normally, but I'll give it a shot and see how it plays out. Or now that I'm playing with other people and not just soloing it like I have been, maybe I want to try some of the other ones that I've just kind of put off into my deck in a way, and I'm not playing with yet. So it can just kind of open up some opportunities, and it does give you more perks than you would normally get. So it kind of opens the game up. One other dynamic they talked about was that sometimes you're going to get perks for an ability you haven't unlocked yet. So what'll happen is that you've got, hey Pikachu, that you've got something for agility at level 3, but you've only got a level 1. So you're like, well, I really want to use that perk, so maybe I'll spend the points when I level up and try to get to that level 3 agility so I can use that. So it may help focus the development of your character and help you see kind of what's coming down the pike a little bit from where you would be. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that's going to work. I think a lot of the meds, just to get back to your point, Junebug, I'm not sure how those are going to work. Again, some of these dynamics are really designed in essence for a single player game. Some things might just simply allow you to see outlines of the characters. It might sort of like have like a infravision in a way or something like that, so that you now have the ability to see things that you might not have noticed before. It may bump your perception or bump your intelligence or something like that. So there's some things that we can take a look at that it may end up impacting. So but to also get back to Junebug's other question about VATS being in real time, again, the focus I think for VATS in real time is going to be more about targeting an individual a character and less about targeting a body part. So I think that's going to be the real difference, is you're going to be able to see people who are hidden in foliage because you're using VATS. You're going to be able to sort of target somebody and know that you're going to be able to shoot at them instead of just trying to play Twitch player like I'm playing right now. I don't use VATS that much. I sort of grew up on FPSs, and so for me it was just kind of, it's an extra step in trying to shoot somebody. Of course I've gone through all of my 10 mil ammo, so maybe it would have been a better thing to do. But there you are. So anyway, okay, I need to change my weapons here. So that's what I like about perks, and so that was number 3 on my list. We had camps and blueprints. We got griefing, especially level 5 and that kind of stuff. And then we talked about perk combos. Okay. I'm not a cabbie. I can't really do that. Okay. One thing that was really interesting to me was the concept of I have 4 pistols. All right, I'm gonna get rid of like 3 of these pistols. I just do not need those 3 pistols. What I really need to do is find somebody to sell this crap to. I think I had... No, I don't want to take the destroyed... Why are you trying to give me the destroyed book? Stop. Let it go. Fine, I'll take it. Oh my gods. Okay. Anyway, so no more points after 50, after level 50. This was something that kind of came out in one of the comments that Howard made that I thought was interesting, and I think is going to be one of those I'm just not sure how well it's going to work kind of things. What they've done is that they have these power curves, and in a single-player game like Fallout or Skyrim or something like that, when you get your power curve, it's really just your character's just getting more and more powerful because the monsters are more and more powerful. But in a game where you've got player against player stuff, you know, PvP, and a little bit of sort of PvE kind of stuff, because you are kind of, you know, you're sort of teaming up to fight the environment, especially when you nuke stuff. So from that perspective, there's a little PvE there, but he said that after level 50, you're not going to be able to bump up your perks anymore. And so what they've got is you're going to have a maximum of 15 points for your perks. And then you're going to have, what do you call it? And then you're going to have, you won't be able to put any more points into your attributes. You'll still get perks and you'll still be able to level up and all that stuff. But it's going to cap out there, so you can't make your character any more powerful than that is. Which is really nice for those people who are just entering the game and they're going up against level 75 people. You know, it doesn't kind of sucks for everybody else. Hi, Ruby. Sure. No. Okay, so that's what. Oh, hello, a Nuka-Cola. Can I get to that? Nope. I'm just gonna hurt myself instead. Okay. I like their decorations. They've been such an interesting job. All right, no, I'm lost on that one. That's just whatever. West Virginia, yes, West Virginia. Definitely going to be cool from that perspective. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I do have a thing for Boston because it's my hometown. I was born there and went to high school there. I went to a whole bunch of places in between, but I went to I was there for high school. So so I am kind of curious to see how that's going to work. But I am looking forward to exploring a whole new area of the world.
This is
so
President
it should be kind of fun from that perspective.
When I was a child, growing up in rural Kentucky, I had the best friend a boy could hope for. My dear old dog.
Pretty sure Admiral Tolwyn did not grow up in
the adventures we had from Nog Creek to
okay, but I need to use those. Okay, let me go use those real quick. Hold on. All right, here we go. Aid, yes. Yes. Okay, Nuka-Cola. Yes. Okay, I got a bottle cap. I got. Oh no.
The perfect existence.
Let's see. How am I doing for health here? I'm sucking for
how many of your children can say the same?
And yes, almost having West Virginia. So that should be entertaining. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a lot of the new
know the answer,
what do you call it? A lot of the new environments. I like the fact that they're tossing in a whole bunch of stuff with the
that changes right here, right now.
With all of the sort of local lore, you know, so you know, there's like some sort of dog monster, and there's sort of other things. So I'm kind of looking forward to that and kind of seeing how that plays out, because that just sounds fun and looks fun. So that should be kind of interesting to see. Wow, there's a lot of boxes here.
with qualified, eligible adults.
Okay, good. I'm
We
liking
will
these
rebuild the American family as it was meant to be.
So
Values of our past
that I really liked.
shall be the
And
foundation
let's see what goes on there. Let's see. And then the
Now,
other thing.
dearest
That's
America,
empty. That's
we
empty.
must say
That's empty.
farewell. For there is much work
That's
to be done.
empty.
and
Hey, look,
the
it's Jet, as you
never
were talking
rests.
about.
Never.
Okay.
Until next
Mentats.
time, this is John Henry Eden
Snuff out.
signing off.
Okay, there we go. Alrighty then. Alright, since you can build anywhere in the camp, you can build in a skyscraper. In theory, yes. Like I said, what they have is they're going to have the blueprints for your camp. So you can. The nice thing about the Fallout 76 is there's going to be no building within sort of the common areas. So there are going to be community workbenches. There is going to be Vault 76 where everybody comes out. But what's going to happen is that you're going to have a situation where you can build anywhere else on the map except in those sort of normal spots where they have like all these quests and stuff. So that's going to be really interesting because that is going to open up the opportunity for there to be a lot of building in places that are sort of non-traditional, like at the top of a skyscraper. There are some things, so there are still some places, I mean, like, you know, Charleston is still there. Charleston has not necessarily skyscrapers, but it does have some tall buildings. And it is only a couple years after the apocalypse, so hopefully there's still some stuff standing. I'll have to find out, I
And
guess.
now, one of my inspirational quotes from the mouth of your president, John Henry Eden. Straight to your
Nuka-Cola
heart.
Quantum.
Discipline is the soul of
Yes,
an
there
army.
we go. All right. Boink.
Make
Okay.
small numbers formidable.
Alrighty.
Procures
That's the empty
success
file.
to
It's
the
empty.
weak and esteem to all. This is Enclave Radio with your host, me, President
Alright.
John Henry.
So I'll be really curious to see how the dynamic works again with the what do you call it? The stuff after level 50. You don't get any more things. So that'll be kind of interesting. Oh, there's like little kid skeletons in here. Ew, that's kind of not cool. All right, whatever. And yes, 25 years. So there is only it is okay. I'll come back for you, paint gun. Yes, 25 years after the bombs dropped, so it is still pretty
This
close
is
to the
and you're
to the
listening to
beginning of
Enclave
when
Radio,
right afterwards.
Voice
So
of America.
certainly much earlier than Fallout 4 was, and although I've heard a theory, and I think it's kind of a whack theory, that Fallout 4 was supposed to be a lot earlier. I think that is the Raider's brain. Okay, well, there you are then. Anyway, I said it was supposed to be a lot earlier in the system. Ooh, I can go downstairs. Dun, dun, dun. I don't think that was the case. There was like some really, really sketchy.
Gotta get close, huh?
Oh yeah. I didn't know any of that. Crap. Oh, it was a horrible shot. Come on, Gizmo, you're better than that.
Wanna be my new boyfriend?
Oh, that sucked.
I'm President
And now I
John
gotta
Henry
reload.
Eden,
Come on, reload.
and you're listening to Enclave Radio. Reason in
Got her.
this cold, unreasonable world.
Okay. All right. Right. Let's see. Sure. That's just a crap gun, though. Oh wait. Bandit armor. Badlands armor. Oh, that was good. Okay. Change the nuke. All of us. Yeah. Although you might be surprised. I lived in Wyoming for a long time, and Wyoming is about as far from civilization as you can get. But it also happens to have a whole lot of nuclear weapons. So I suspect there's also a whole bunch of nukes laying around in West Virginia as well. A lot of these places, in fact, if you look, West Virginia was one of the bunkers for the, oh my god. Oh, I missed him. Come on. Come on already, would you? Oh, terrible shooting. Ah, that sucked so bad. It's just a terrible shot. Okay. So yeah, like I said, I think some of these things you'd just be surprised because there was a
I'm John Henry Eden,
what do you call it?
President
presidential bunker, like a security bunker that was built in West Virginia. I think it was in the Briarwood, where they had they would be taken in case of a nuclear attack. So that's kind of I'm over encumbered again. All right, fine. Let's use some. What? Whoa! Healing limbs. I just missed something. Crap! I hate it when that happens. Okay. Run. Yeah, he did. He sure ran. Alright. I eat the Salisbury steak, I guess. Stim pack. Alright. How's my health? My health's fine now. Okay, good. Alright. But I'm still over encumbered. Alright. I gotta drop something. Oh no, I'm damaged. I got like a... I've got damage to a limb, it said. Alright, so there's my data, my stats. Here's my status. Alright. Yeah, I'm hurt. My limbs. There we go. Oh, you can stim... Oh, holy crap! Okay. That's different dynamic than what I expected. Hey, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, Junebug. Die. Okay. So, okay, alright. Grr, I say. Grr! Okay, let's check and see what I got here. Let's do this. Let's see what I got. Oh. Alright, hold on. This one, and I want to go here. What do I got from miscellaneous? I have a baseball glove. Do I really need a baseball glove? No, I don't really need a baseball glove. Okay. Yes, please. That would be awesome. No. Alright. Let me bring up my... Oh! So how do I say I gotta figure out how to do that again? Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, here we go. Hotkey at RB. Alright. 1. No, there we go. Okay. Hunting rifle. Yes. Okay. Cool. All right. Excellent. Thank you. I'm trying to. I've actually done quite a bit of work on this stuff. So the last thing I want to talk about, this is number 5, was the. I mean, it was 100. Dude, you'd be kidding me. Damn, bro. 100. All right. Well, great. I'm gonna put a box back here and make it empty. What? Bastard. Okay, that's at least okay, a cup and a hockey mask. Well, why don't we put the cup back? Because I really don't need the cup. Hey, Full Degree, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. That's awesome. So what other questions do you guys have about Fallout 76 while I'm trying to figure out how to drop this crap that I've got? Oh, you know what? I do not need 5 copper bucks. There we go. That'll help. Alright. So from my perspective, a couple things I didn't answer that are kind of still problematic for me.
Hello again, America. This is John Henry Eden, your president.
What do you call it?
Some things we should talk about.
What?
If that's all right.
I thought I just came to that door.
I've been thinking quite a bit lately about something we can all relate to. Something that is unquestionably
the one thing that I've been thinking about is about the camps. Like I said, I've been thinking about camps, trying to figure out how that's all going to work, and the concern that I have around the, you know, what happens if you are, you know, what happens to your camp when you log out? There's a lot of questions I actually have about that. So, what happens to your camp when you log out? If you build a camp with a whole bunch of other people, what happens with those? You know, who gets that stuff? If someone leaves the group, do they get it? Do they get a copy of it? Do they only get some of it? Do they get... Yeah, kind of what happens with that stuff? Does it stick around? If it's stuck around and you didn't blueprint it and it gets blown up, let's say.
Their name.
Whether that gets blown up because it's blown up by a nuke or blown up by a...
Revel in the joys of sport and sunshine. Only for an afternoon. Now, ask yourself this. What if the capital congressman could live again? What if
I did not want that.
Baseball teams.
What if you are...
Put your faith in John Henry America, and baseball will live again. Comfort.
What the hell are you firing at me for, boy?
All will
ow, ow.
This country will live. We've got a part now, you and
where I'm
I.
getting shot from. That
But
sucks.
don't be sad, America.
I hate that.
The Enclave is working tirelessly.
Why is the hype gone? You know, I think a lot of it is just because... Oh, there he is.
Till next time, this is John Henry.
It's because there are just a lot of questions that aren't really getting answered. In general, I think that they've done a really bad job of hyping the game a little bit. They're just kind of like, you know, it's. I don't think it's a matter of, oh, well, people are going to buy it because it's a Fallout game. I don't think that's the case. I do think it's the case that they're just not sure how to position this. They really don't know what this game is going to be. You know, you talk to them and they're like, oh, well, it's going to be, you know, oh, it's a Rust clone, or it's, you know, whatever. It's, you know, it's going to be WoW-like, or, you know, just like, no, not really. It's kind of like, no, really. It just shows that I think they're just struggling to figure out a Nuka-Cola truck. Okay. They're trying to figure out how to position it, and I don't think they know how to do it yet. And it's because they don't have a really good analog for it. There's nothing else they can just point to and go, oh, it's like this. It's Elder Scrolls Online, or it's, you know, they just don't have that. And so I think as a result, they're kind of struggling to figure out, how do we talk about this game? Because it doesn't seem to really make any sense to anybody. And they say, like, you know, people, when they play it, they're like, oh, this is great. And they go, that's great, but how would you describe it? It's like, I don't know. And so I just think there's a lot of people just kind of struggling to figure out what it is going to play like. So I think that's what's going on with it. I think that's why all of the hype is gone. I think as we get closer to October, I mean, sort of, and you'll start seeing the beta program. Like I said, I mean, I'm going to stream as much of that as I can. I will probably be streaming in more than just Fallout Fridays for those, but I'll be doing a lot of things for that. I think at that point you'll see a lot more interest coming back in the game. But I agree that right now I think it's a bit of a challenge. I don't think that there's a lot of interest being paid to it because, again, there's just people don't know what to expect.
By their pseudo-nightly nonsense or supposed
You're right, yeah, this is the first time doing this kind of something like this, and if you're a loyal fan, you'll give them a chance. I agree. I think that there's a lot of opportunities here for them to kind of drop the ball. I mean, this could be an utter failure, an utter flop. You know, it could be another Apple Lisa, or okay, I'm dating myself. You know, but it could be any number of things that are flops that we've had in the past. You know, the Microsoft Zoom. And I think once we get a kind of a look at some of these things, then we'll begin to figure out, okay, how is this going to work? But for right now, I think the challenge is that we just don't really know. I'm going to come back to this in a second. I want to go to the other side and get that guy. We don't know what this game's going to be like. They can't explain it very well, and as a result, I don't think anybody really knows what it's going to be like. So people are struggling to figure out what's the deal. 32. Nothing worthwhile here. So from my perspective, I think that's where the challenge is going to lie. And once, like I said, once we start getting some play into it, once we start seeing people playing beta, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot more interest in it. There is that other mod coming out for Fallout 4 is getting an awful lot of hype, which is Miami, and I think that's going to be interesting. But I also think I think people are also sort of putting it in the same caliber as Fallout 4. They're saying, "Oh, this is going to be Fallout 4 again." It's a it's a mod for Fallout 4, so it's going to have a lot of really good stuff in it. But it's not like it's, you know, a whole game in and of itself, although I guess it's sort of like DLC in a way. And I'm excited for it. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity to have some good stuff. But, okay. Oh, there we are. Never mind, I've been here. Okay, never mind. Never mind. So I think there's going to be some opportunity for us to have some really good stuff, but I'm just a little concerned about about people putting a lot of emphasis on sort of that the DLC, because it's continuing the game with play that they wanted to see. So for a lot of players, you know, one of the things that they've said, and I think it's this big thing, is Fallout is a lot of different things to different people. There's a whole lot of Venn diagrams that sort of overlap where Fallout, the games have played. Fallout 4, some people hate it. They don't like it at all, and they despise that, and they just want to play New Vegas and 3. Okay, great. Others love 4 and don't know anything about 3, but they're looking forward to 76. And others hate 76 already. So there's all these different sort of dynamics at play here. I think we need to figure out what's going on with that. And you can't make a game that's going to be something for everybody. And I think that's going to be the challenge that we're looking at. So, I wonder what's going on with that. That's not playing. So there should be a little graphic popping up with flames and stuff. I don't know. Okay, so we'll have to see what happens. But I think that I think it's going to be one of those games where we have to see how it's going to play, and then we can decide whether it's something that we want to do or not. You know, I played Black Ops 4. I decided, you know what, if this is all it's going to be, I'm probably not going to get it. You know, if there was a campaign and there's other things that went on along with it, then I might play that. But you know, with just that, I'm just like, maybe not. So anyway, so the last question that Junebug had was, do I think there'll be a buildable radio like DC radio? That's a really good question. I would probably have to say that I don't think there's going to be, just simply because of the dynamics of the system. What I do know is that there is going to be the possibility of having live chat. So they were trying to do a whole bunch of stuff with like the emote wheel and everything else. And if you look at the gameplay they had from E3, you'll see the emote wheel pop up, and they can play with it. So yes, I thumbs up. You know, my Vault Boy thumbs up kind of thing. And that's kind of cool, but it's also, you're not really getting some of those, the real conversations that you could get with your team. You know, team chat's one thing, but even just with other people in the world, like, hey, where are you going? Have you seen anything interesting? I can't answer that with the emote wheel. Yes, I have. What? I can't answer that with an emote. So, I think, though, that what they're planning on doing and what they talked about, and they've already made these changes, is having voice chat, but only within a radius around your character, so people around you can hear it, but nothing else. I think, though, as a result, we're probably not going to see a whole lot of other stuff. You might see... Oh my gosh, that was just grim. I think you might see the possibility of doing some stuff. I mean, especially if we can get mods. And they know that mods are a big thing. They know that mods are something that they want the community to have access to. They also recognize it's really hard to do them. So I think the challenge here is going to be trying to figure out, okay, how do we do this in a way that is going to allow for the... what do you call it? For the mods to work on those private servers, or maybe for really popular mods, they'll sort of take them some base servers and stuff. But I think the challenge is really going to be around how are we going to do something from outside like that. So your idea about like, you know, there's really piping in a regular radio station or an internet radio station. Some interesting ideas, and I think that they would probably take a look at that. I think, though, it's kind of unlikely that they're going to do something really too drastic or radical there. Mostly because they're trying to keep the game at a certain level, and I mean, I understand that it's, you know, M-ish right now with all the gore, especially. But it's also, I mean, you know, to have somebody who's, you know, swearing all the time on internet radio, and if you were to pipe in, you know, you know, some of those internet radio hosts who were just really vociferous and virulent in a way, who are just yelling and screaming all the time, and, you know, profanity laden, that kind of stuff. You know, an XM radio or Sirius radio or something. Then I think you're going to look at needing to really curate that.
This is
that kind of stuff.
President.
So
And you're
if somebody were
listening
to do
to
something
On-Grade
like, you know,
Radio,
here's something
voice
else.
of America.
Let's say that I decided
Sweet
to pull
America.
off,
Hello again.
or I rip
This
out
is
the
President
audio from
I'd like
Vice
to
City,
have a chat.
one of the
It's
radio
time
stations, and I
we
use
discuss
that.
something
You know, so suddenly now
rather
there's potential
important.
copyright
The
issues.
issue at hand is
Again, I think that
well,
the challenge is
my
going to be trying to figure out how you would do that, and I think it's just going to be opening up too big a can of worms for them to do that. That said,
to this
there's a
most
possibility that you could do it, and if you had the right kind of curation and you had the right kind of moderation, you know, if you had sort of community monitors, that kind of stuff, maybe that could work.
Of course,
I'm
I
not
was
sure.
elected.
I have to
Sweet
figure it out.
America.
Actually, I need to get rid of. Good old President
the very
Bucket here.
foundation of it.
Thank you. All right, I think we're done with you. I'm done. All right, and we're done. Okay, so, any other questions that you guys have about Fallout? Not to see something. Or is that just a burnt book? Oh, that's just a piece of wood. All right. Any other questions about Fallout 76? Like I said, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Oh, boom, baby. One shot, one kill. Where's my achievement unlocked, man? Let's see. Small guns. Small guns. Let's pump that puppy up. Wow. Lockpick. I'm going to bump my lockpick up probably about 5 points. Let's bump barter up by 5. And small guns up by 4 more. And let's bump repair up. There we go. Continue. Alright. Ooh. Alright. Let's see. Level 2. Develop my technical pursuits. Getting 5 points for science and medicine. Intense training. Put a single point into any of my special attributes. I don't know. Gotta think about that. Lady Killer, I do 10% damage against female opponents. Just turn on the radio station because I like listening to music. Yeah, I'm thinking that we might actually have to do a little more work on. You might have to have stuff on the outside. I'm not sure how much they're going to be doing with that. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, but I'm kind of the opinion that I think that we're going to have more. I think it's going to be more along the lines of hello. Oh, come on, really? Oh, I got Vault. All right, never mind. I think it's more along the lines of sort of the normal thing, and I have to agree. I kind of like, you know, like when I'm playing Vice City or something. I do really like having. Oh, hello. Oh, really? Okay. Well then. I do really like having like the radio on, listening to, you know, 80s music and jamming and stuff. I think that's kind of fun. So I'll be curious to see kind of how things play out with that. But I'm kind of expecting that we're going to have a little less there than not. I think it's going to probably end up being more of a you're playing the game, and because remember, there are no other humans. The only other humans in the game are players. So if you're going to have a radio station, like let's say you've got like Diamond City Radio, or you've got something else, that's going to have to be somebody either in the game broadcasting, as Junebug pointed out, or it's going to have to be something that's automated. So I mean, obviously there's a huge amount of interest, and people love the radio. I mean, they keep it on all the time. I've had it playing in the background the entire time I've been playing. So I'm kind of suck me. Okay, that was kind of cute. So I think it's gonna be a bit of a challenge, but that could be a really interesting little twist that they decided to toss into the game there. So I'll have to see. So, cheers. And I just hope I was able to answer some of your questions there. I am going to be going back through some more stuff that they've done for. There's another one that they did where they just did a. All right, there we go. Yeah, okay, that was kind of crap. I think that I got the music coming off of the computer. I think it was playing back through the microphone. So we'll drop that down a little bit there. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, I think we've got. Like I said, I'm really curious to see what the missions are. I know the missions are going to be more. The Overseer is going to give you some from the vault. And then some are going to be picked up via holotapes and stuff that you're going to find in the land, in the landscape. So I'm not sure about really how much other stuff we're going to find and how else we're going to get missions. Obviously, just simply nuking stuff is going to be fun. Oh, don't worry about it, Joe. That was kind of fun. It kept me on my toes, so I had to try to figure out what was going. I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. I mean, you can nuke places and turn them into high-level areas. Again, what if you're a low-level character who happens to end up and you log back in and it's been nuked? I mean, holy crap, are you just Deathclaw meat at that point? Maybe, Deathclaw chow. The one thing they did talk about that I did like was that for dying, the only thing that you lose is your junk. So when you die, all of your junk stays where you died. But nothing else moves. And so you keep your armor, you keep your power armor, you keep your fusion cores, you keep all the stuff that matters to you. You just lose your junk. Now, of course, junk is pretty important in Fallout, as you guys know. So it's possible that you want to go back to try to get the junk that you left. The other thing is there's stashes that they talked about all over the world. And so there's places where you can put your junk and keep it safe. And so that's something that's going to be kind of handy. I think they're all interconnected in the same way that your bases, your workbenches are in Fallout 4. So I think there's a benefit that we have of not having to worry about our stuff kind of getting, of having to go to this stash over here to get this stuff. And then, I think it's all interconnected. You to get access to everything wherever you are. So that'll be kind of handy. When you'll be thinking about well, wait a second, it's a pretty high level area. Do I want to go in there with the junk I've got, or do I want to stash that somewhere and then go into that area? Still have to see. That'll be a quote or something. No, it's music. That and the other one are both music. So. It's kind of funny. I think that, like I said, the penalty for dying in the game, I think that's reasonable. Some people they tried it out. Apparently, they tried it out with no penalty at all, and some people were just like, "Sure, why not? If I die, who cares, right? I got all my stuff. I'll try stuff and I'll do stupid crap because there's no penalty." And I said, this is just not really working. So let's try something else. And so they decided, let's go ahead and have you lose something else. And that was a little too onerous. And so they said, okay, let's just make it your junk. And everyone's like, that sounds reasonable. Because junk is replaceable. It respawns all over the map. It's necessary to build your bases, but it's not critical to survival. And so I think that was kind of where they drew the line as this is optional, not necessary. So it's kind of nice that they made that available. And again, like I said, with the pacifist shooting and stuff like that, you can at least guarantee that you're not going to accidentally slap somebody who's then going to be able to fight back full bore with you and kick your ass. So that's kind of nice as well. Apparently, some of the people at Bethesda were actually doing that. That's how they were doing it. They asked all of their QA people to be total internet assholes for a day, and they said that was a really bad day for everybody else. And I was like, yes, I bet that was, yes. There's a lot of assholes out there. So, anyway, I thought it was pretty funny. And having worked in QA myself, I can kind of go, yep, I can see people that I know who worked in this industry being, yep, that would be pretty funny. So anyway, they are trying to do some things to mitigate the assholery that's out there, which is good. I like the idea of the wanted system. I think it's going to be really interesting. I think the bounty system being on people who are killing players, I think is great. You can mute and block players so that if something happens that you don't have to worry about, you don't have to deal with them ever again. So they can't find you. They can't, I mean, if they have to stumble upon you, then they'll know that that's you, but they can't like look for you on the map and try to find you to like grief you. Which I think is a really good thing. I think it's going to make it a lot better for the gameplay, that we don't have to worry about, like, you know, I log in and, you know, Major Asshole number 5 decides that he's going to make it his mission that game to make my life a living hell. And so, you know, he can hunt me once and then I can block him and then he's gone until I go back. So I think it's going to be interesting. They didn't talk at all about the servers, though, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that. That may actually have to wait until beta, because my question there is, if we're playing on the same server, how is the game configured? Is it actually like locked in to play on a server somewhere? So if I'm playing on one server and I've got another friend who buys the game 3 weeks later, he goes to a different server, can I not find him? That would kind of suck. And then the other part is, if I am just bopping around between servers, which could be interesting, where's my stuff? I mean, is it on one server and it's not with me? Or, again, this is the dynamic I talked about, where if I leave the game, does my stuff come with me? So, I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see how this is all going to play out. They haven't answered any of those questions. Of course, no one's asked those questions, which is probably why. And I'll be cruising through Reddit as well, trying to figure out if there's any information there that anybody has gleaned. And maybe get on Twitter and start asking these guys directly and say, hey, look, you know, what are your thoughts? So we'll have to see what happens. But I'm curious to kind of see how all this is going to play out. But yum, yum, yum. Any other questions on Fallout 76? Because I do have some answers. Let's see. Boppo died like a bitch. He didn't have half a bad idea setting up here. We had a good thing going, picking off caravans and traders on their way to the Megaton. He was stupid to try to raid the town. Dumbass. Deserved the bullet Sims put in his head. Alright. There's sweeter water to be had here at that damn vault's what we should be trying to get into at that rag-ass town. If we can get in there, ain't none of us gonna want for the rest of our lives. Well, you know. We know it. Some of the scavs get tired of digging the tunnels, started using mines, getting the caves, not half a bad idea. The explosion chamber knocked the building apart. We got a new window or two on the side of the building. Haha. Connected some of the boys knock over a caravan from more explosive bluff to use fewer in the blasts, or some assholes from Megaton will come looking. Yep. Okay. And hit a goddamn hive of ants. Ooh, bastards ate 7 of our best diggers before we could lock off the way. Ooh. Ants. Not good. Poison them so we can find out where digging and blasting into the vault. You getting everything? You're good? All right. Like I said, as much as possible, I am going to be doing the Fallout 76 beta. So once that releases, tune in. I'll be playing that as much as I can. And if you have any questions, I do have my YouTube channel. It's just Gizmo Devo on YouTube. So just under this, just drop a comment if you have any other questions that come up. Or tweet me. I'm just at Gizmo Devo. Tweet to me and let me know what questions you have, and I will certainly try to dig up the answer for you. I will, Junebug, check into that radio stuff, see if what's going to be happening with that, if there's any information on that at all. Like I said, I might tweet to some of the devs and managers over at Bethesda and see if they can answer that, because maybe they will. So we'll have to see what's going to happen with that. But I am kind of curious to see what transpires here. Is that right? How is that the raider? Is that his eye? I think it is. Okay then. Well, that's entertaining. Ooh, ammunition box. I like ammunition boxes. Ammo boxes are my friend. Of course, they have ammo I don't need, I can't use yet. All right, but I do, however, now have a dun-dun-dun sawed-off shotgun. All right. Hotkey that papita. Down. Yes. Okay. Down. Reload. Oh, it is reloaded because it's only double-barreled shotgun. Come on, Gizmo. Figure it out. Cannot believe I didn't try to open that damn door. All right, let's go downstairs, though. I'm sure I'm missing more of this map than I should be. But that's okay. Again, this is my first time playing it. Doopy-doopy-doo, doopy-doo. All right. You would tune in if you wasn't going to play it yourself. Yeah, I understand that. I thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for the follow. I am going to, like I said, I am going to be doing some stuff on some things. Hopefully we can get some... ooh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is the hive. Oh, boy. I'm not sure I want to be in here. I may not. Yep, there's an ant. Holy crap. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm getting the frill out of here. Frack, frack, jump, jump, jump over the damn filing cabinet already, would you? Thank you. Yeah. Crap. Crap. I really don't like ants. I don't like ants. Ants are not my friend. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh crap. Ah, I hate ants. Ant meat. Okay, I'll take the ant meat. Ew, gross. Ugh. Oh, I really don't want to do that. Oh man. Okay, hold on. I gotta drop something here. Oh, you know what? I'll use a frag grenade. There we go. Alright. Let's see if I can do this. I'm over encumbered though. Oh crap. Okay. Oh! I think I might have got him. Alright, hold on. I gotta drop something else here. I got 9 police batons. Alright. Alright, hold on. We're gonna drop like 4 of those. There. God, I do not need 4 freaking. Oh, hello. Hells no, what that is. Ah. God, I really don't like ants. Like, really don't like ants. Ah. You can't see it, but I've got like, I'm like really, really not comfortable right now. I am very uncomfortable with all these ants. Oh, there he is. God bless America. Crippled. Well, dead is better. I would much prefer dead. Thank you. Alright. Alright. How's the game? Game is good. We are talking about Fallout 76. Did you have any questions about F76? Intimidator? What the what? Oh yeah, I'm digging this. Not. Holy frack, what is... Oh, that's just stuff. Okay. How much do I want to... You know what? I'm going to go back to the direction real quick, so hold on. Because there was another path through here. I want to see where this place goes. Oh. Okay. It goes to there. Well, there we are then. Yay. So this is the only way forward. This actually, so we're talking about Fallout 76. I'm actually playing Fallout 3 while we're talking about F76. There's a bunch of new information that came out about F76 in the last couple of weeks, and so I kind of wanted to tie off on some things because I talked about Fallout 76 a while ago. Oh no, it's crap. Yeah. Fucking ants, man. Holy crap. Ah, get out of Dodge. Get the hell out of Dodge. Get the hell out of Dodge, man. Ah! A lot of freaking ants. Okay, we're leaving. Bye. Have fun. They didn't follow me. Why didn't they follow me? Okay, hold on. Oh, okay, here comes one. Oh, gods, I'm out of ammo. Give me... Ah! Damn it. So did you guys have any questions about Fallout 76 or any concerns or what kinds of, like, you know, oh my god, I can't believe they're going to do X kind of stuff? Because I'm kind of intrigued to kind of see how all this stuff plays out. But I think I talked about a whole bunch of, I talked about camping and blueprints, and we talked about the griefing system that they got set up, which I think is going to be kind of cool. And we talked about, let's see, the wanted stuff and being pacifist. We talked some of the perks, the perk cards in particular, but we also discussed the benefits of having a, using your charisma perk, because, you know, your charisma perk is usually that thing that's going to help you with NPCs, but since there are no NPCs, because all the other humans are players, charisma's not really something you can use. It's like, how charismatic are you personally? Because that's about what you got. So the sort of the big question is going to be, how's that going to happen? And so we talked about charisma. We talked about the booster packs and all that stuff there, which I thought was kind of cool. So they changed leveling up. In what way, Intimidator? There are definitely some differences that they've begun to look at. What do you call it? Making. They've got it set up so that you can actually go really as high as level as you want, which is kind of cool. So you don't have to worry about like only being. Oh my God! Look, it's a giant ant. Okay, it looks like a giant ant to me. They talked about you always start out in the vault in 76, and they definitely did change leveling up from a perk card perspective. And if you guys want to talk about that again real quick, but yeah, everybody starts the game in Vault 76. You get your stuff, because you go through and you do your character generation, you select your looks, that kind of stuff. You get your Pip-Boy, and then you go out into the world. And so there's some definite challenges, I think, in terms of, you know, obviously there's going to be some potential for griefing right around the vault. That said, they're not going to let anybody engage in PvP if you're level 5 or under, or rather, I think it said griefing's, rather not griefing. Player versus player starts at level 5. So levels 1 through 4, you have to worry about being attacked by other players, which is kind of cool. Gives you a little bit of chance to kind of get out, but that's still a lot of opportunities. And they said they had a lot of people at Bethesda who were playing the game who were actually doing that. They would kind of camp out in front of the vault, and people would just walk out, "Hi, happy day, blam, okay, I'm dead." You know, so we tried to. They did some work there to try to rectify that, and by making it the first 5 levels, or at least first 4 levels, that you can't have attacks, I think is a good thing. And then they also changed the PvP dynamic so that you can't really be attacked unless you engage with somebody else. So somebody can attack you and they can kind of, like, you know, slap you around a little bit, but they can't really fight you full force unless you engage back. You accept the challenge and then you go. And then you'll fight full battle. Hey, Casey Garrison, how are you doing? We'll talk about real quick about your question, Intimidator. They're not going to offer single player. They are going to offer private servers, so you can play the entire game as a single player just on a private server. I've actually done that with Conan. I don't play on a PvP environment with Conan. I play strictly PvE, and I only play it by myself. So I launch my own local server, and then I play on that. When I'm done, and I quit out, and I don't open it to anybody else. I think they're going to offer that eventually for Fallout 76. So you can still get a single player experience even though you're going to have a multi-game, a multi-person environment you'd be logging into. So I think that's one of how they're going to address that. But oh, it's Junebug. Okay, hey Junebug. But for the perk cards, what they talked about was that you're going to have you're going to start off with level 1 and all of your perks. So each of your special, you see, I'm wearing my special shirt from Fallout. Each of your characteristics or your attributes is going to have 1 point in it. You're going to have a slot available so that when you get your perk card, you can pick one that's available for any of those, and you can put it into the slot and make it available for you. As you level up, you're going to get new perks, and you'll unlock another perk every time that you level up. But you're also, every 2 levels until level 10, you're going to get a perk booster pack. It's going to have several different cards in it, and then those are going to sort of get added to your deck, and then you can use those as you level up your different attributes. So if you put everything into strength, then you could get a whole bunch of strength ones, but there might be one that you have that you're not that keen on, and instead you want to pump up your perception now, and so you bump that one up, and then get your use the perk from your booster pack to do that. Some of the ones in your booster pack will also be a higher level than the ones that you have normally. So you might know that if I spend a point or 2 to unlock this other attribute, say luck, then I might get access to this other perk card that I know that I have, but I didn't even know was going to be available unless I leveled up my luck. So it's going to be kind of interesting from that perspective. You're going to have some opportunities to kind of see what might be coming without actually having to go like all to the wikias and the fandom sites and all that to figure out, or go to Reddit and read through like, okay, what are all the different ones that are available. It'll give you a little bit of a goose to kind of move forward. So there's some kind of stuff there. Let's see. Are there any power armor options other than the T4550 and X05? I don't think so, but all of those should be available in Fallout 76 because nothing new got developed after the war. So all of those power armors, I think there's a 60. There's a T60, but and that's available in Fallout 4, but I don't know if there's anything else. But obviously the X05 is kind of like the biggest one. Let's see. You're level 25. You got a cool base built at a bridge. What I spawned at the base? Oh, no. So in the same. So the question is, if let's say you're level 25 and you got a base built somewhere, and then you log out and you log back in again, would you spawn the base? I believe they're going to keep the beds the same way that they do in the other Fallout games. If you die, though, you do respawn. I believe you do respawn back at the Vault 76. But fast travel's enabled, and the further you travel, the more it costs in caps. But you keep your caps when you die. The only thing that you're going to lose is your junk. So you're going to keep your caps unless you are a wanted murderer because you slapped someone to death and someone else kills you. They'll take their bounty out of your caps. So you could lose caps that way, but that's really the only way I think you can lose caps in the game. That seemed that was the case. So let's see. Is there any other? I think that was about it. Let me just double check here, make sure. I think that was all the questions that came across. But if you guys have any more, just let me know. Hey, Death Seeker. Cheers. Sorry, I had to get something. Had to have some of my libation. I have no idea where the hell I'm going. All right, let's figure this out. World map. There we go. All right, so I'm at Springville School. All right, I'm trying to find. There's the vault. Vault 101. What is that? Canterbury Commons. Alright, so apparently I gotta walk across the street. Okay. Alright. Well, that doesn't do me any good, so I'm gonna... I got 2 rounds left. Oh, I got a vault. Alright. Okay. Yeah, that's alright, no worries. The 60 is, it's... I had the 60 for a while when I was playing 4, and then I decided to switch over to the X05, because, obviously, but... That was kind of cool for a bit. I've got a sawed-off shotgun. This has got, like, no range. Oh, hello. Oh, God. This is so amazing. Oh, come on. That sucked. Ow. Yes, eat the barrel. That is absolutely the way to do it. All right, I'll get the mole rat meat here. I'll get some food. All right, I do not need to be hidden. All right. But yeah, it's. I think it's going to be. So again, I think there's probably going to be some maps or some servers that are more PvE than PvP, which I think is going to be cool. And I think there's going to be more that are more aligned with PvP than not. But I think the idea is that PvP is available anywhere. You can set up yourself to shoot pacifist bullets, so people aren't just going to randomly start like jumping in front of you shooting an animal. Like, let's say you're shooting a deathclaw, and somebody jumps in front of you because you're using a minigun, and they get shot, and then suddenly it's like, oh, really? You're challenging me? And then they turn around and they blast you with, some sort of nuclear weapon. Okay, well, that was uncool. Yeah, exactly. So, from that perspective, I think it's, I think there's going to be opportunities to at least prevent those kinds of things from happening. But by the same token, there are definitely some challenges to the PvP stuff. And I think that's going to be something that we're going to have to play around with. You have the game, and can you sprint? You know what? I have no freaking clue, because what I keep trying to do is I keep trying to push, I keep trying to click on the left stick, and that is not it. I know you can with in Fallout 4, which is why I was trying to. I think that's why I was trying to do it that way. I actually don't remember if Fallout 4. Oh, danger! All right. No, bring my gun back. Where's that danger coming at me from? Oh, there he is. Where the heck is he? What the hell? Oh, hello. What? Oh, you're a bloatfly. I don't like bloatflies. Oh, that sucked. Yeah, I don't like bloatflies, and I don't like... I am... Okay, hold on. Yeah, I need to run. I just don't know how to run. That's terrible. Alright, hold on. Did I lose him? I don't know if I did or not, but I really need to use some aid. Okay. It's just, I'm not... Alright. This is not helping a whole lot. Ugh. Alright, well, hold on. So there's something about... Alright, let's see. Might not play it, we don't know if we're gonna... For me, Fallout is a single-player game, not a PvP. Yeah. And we were talking about this earlier, and I think the thing here about Fallout is... Oh, stop it. Thank you. Holy crap, that was ridiculous. The whole thing here is that there are so many different kinds of players for Fallout. If you look at the Venn diagram, it's sort of like all the different kinds of players that exist. You get all these little circles that all kind of... You got Fallout and different Fallout games. Fallout New Vegas is over here, and 3 is down here, and 4 is over here, and 76 is up here. And those Venn diagrams happen to overlap for these different games. And there's people who loved Fallout New Vegas who absolutely despise Fallout 4. And there's people who really liked 4 who will not like God, I hate eating the stuff without cooking it first. but who are not going to like playing 76. And so I think that's the challenge that we have to kind of to work through. I think the problem is that we just right now we don't really know what 76 is like because they haven't been able to tell us what 76 is like. And until we can actually play it, I think it's going to be one of those things that's going to be a big question mark in a lot of people's minds. So I'm looking forward to it in that it's another Fallout game. And I like Fallout. I really only played Fallout 4. I really enjoyed it. I liked the base building dynamic. I liked... oh, hello. Look at all of these metal boxes. I liked a lot of the base building aspects of it. There's definitely some cool stuff in there. And some really neat options available. At the same time, it's empty footlocker, great, thank you. At the same time, there's a lot of stuff that people are just not going to like about the game once they until they play it, or even if they do play it. So. I think that's just the kind of the challenge that Bethesda faces, and because they're trying to make a whole new game, and they've been struggling trying to come up with sort of like, you know, what's a corollary, you know, what kind of, you know, what's similar to it, and they haven't been able to figure out how to describe it yet. So I think from that perspective, they're really just having to delve all the time figuring out. The controls, nothing about sprinting. Oh man, thanks Goldstone Gamer, that sucks. Okay, yeah, you know, I mean, I probably could check the controls and stuff too, and let's see. Controls, action mapping, sneak, yeah, wait, grab, okay, yes, I agree, run is not an option. Apparently we don't know how to run. I guess growing up in Vault 101, we just didn't run. Okay. New Vegas, the best Fallout. You know, and I've heard that too. A lot of people, and I think part of it is because it was a different studio, so it wasn't really Bethesda. I think the other part is just that there was a lot more openness in that environment than there is even in Fallout 4. You know, right now with Fallout 4, what I'm playing is I'm playing the whole game through, but I'm playing each of the factions out as long as I can. I mean, I have not picked Brotherhood of Steel, the Railroad, or the Minutemen, or the Institute, or anybody yet. I'm playing them out as long as I possibly can. Where are you running off to, boy? And how are you running? Maybe you're just running by default. Maybe by sneaking me. Sneak. No, he's getting further away from me. How are you doing that? Oh, hello. Yes,
great nation decided I should be. I am your duly elected representative.
Yes, there we go. There. Okay. And whoa, I just saw a light flicker over there. I see another light flicker over there. Huh. It's better on the scope because that would be awesome right now. But that's okay. All right. I wish I had some ammo for this puppy, but I don't. So yeah, so I think like I said, I've not played Fallout 3 yet, so I'm playing it right now for the very first time ever, and getting horribly lost. That is one of the problems with some of the unscripted, the open world style games, is that, I mean, you can just get so lost doing stuff, you know, because Privateer, which is another game that I played, which is in the Wing Commander universe, was sort of that same thing. It's like, you know, you could run missions for everybody, or you can tell everybody to just pound sand, and just go do your own thing, and in essence play Elite for a long time, which was kind of cool. I did that for a while, and then I leveled my character up to the point where I was actually able to do some stuff, and I was like, okay, now that I'm kind of buff, let's go do these missions and save the universe. But you know, it was kind of funny because it's just sort of open world in that respect. But again, sometimes you can just kind of get lost in an open world and just you don't really know what to do and where to go. Now, for some players, that is like the bee's knees. I mean, that's like, oh my god, this is just the game. Whoa, okay. Oh, I can set off a mine. Okay. Where the hell am I? I have no idea. I am a long ways. All right. What's that? Okay, so why am I? Urgh. Damn you! Investigate the nearby town of Megaton for information about Dad. Apparently, I did not find. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I have to go back. All right. Oh no! It's telling me I have to go this way. And that's where the little thing is saying I gotta go that way. But I didn't find anything in Megaton. Alright, well, alright. Although I wasn't entirely certain that was Megaton. Alright, hold on. Alright, let's figure this out. Alright, let's go back to here. Yes, let's travel to Springville. Let's just fast travel and be done. Okay, there we go. Jeez. Is there a place like the glowing sea in F3? That's a really good question, and one I don't know. I don't think so. I think everything in Fallout 3 is explorable. Not that the glowing sea isn't, but and actually when I was in high school, my house was in the glowing sea where it is today. It's kind of funny. I think I found it. I think I found all of the what do you call it? Auto dealerships that were in my hometown. So there you are. Anyway, but yeah, I think I don't think there is in F3. I think there are definitely. Hey, thank you so much for the follow there, Intimidator. That's awesome. We appreciate it. I'm not sure why that. What do you call it? I'm not sure if there's anything like that in Fallout 3. I don't think so. I think that Fallout 4 was the first time they ever tried really introducing that kind of a concept. So, from that perspective, I think... Oh, hello. Hi.
I'm President John Henry Eaton. And you're
well, you're welcome. So I think that was a kind of a new thing, if I recall correctly. That was a new thing for Fallout 4. So.
Greetings again, sweet America. This is President
Megaton that way.
And I'd like to chat if you've got a
Okay. Ah. I went the wrong way. I'm an idiot. I was an idiot. Yes, I am. Okay. Yeah, sometimes, you know, just because you've been playing these games for a really long time doesn't give you, like, you know, Herculean insight or some sort of, you know, wisdom of the Norns or anything that you can do this kind of crap. Sometimes you just kind of... Hi, Century Bot. Deputy
Have yourself a nice visit, partner.
Oh boy, this is like the Thunderdome. Hey, Goldstone Gamer, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't seem to be doing the
Name's Lucas Sims, town sheriff, and mayor too when the need arises.
Sure
I don't know why, but I like you, boy. Something tells me you're all right. So welcome to Megaton. Just holler if you need something.
Hey, thanks for the follow and thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Goldstone Gamer, have a good one. Nice town you got here. It's a pleasure to meet you. Nice hat, Calamity Jane. Sure.
Friendly and well-mannered. I think we're gonna get along just fine. You treat my people nice, and you're welcome to stay as long as you'd like.
You don't scare me. I'm like 12.
I'm glad we understand
like
each
18,
other.
16
Now,
or 18 or something
is there
like that.
something I can help you with?
Yeah, I'm looking for my dad, middle-aged guy. Have you seen him?
Nope. Sorry. I got enough fires to put out in this place that I don't have time to keep tabs on every visitor.
Yes, you
I'd
do.
ask around town.
That's your only job. Come on.
Sure thing, partner.
No, it's
What do you
partner
need to find?
with a D. Clinic, weapons dealer, bar. I need some equipment, near a general store, working on a bed. Well, you know what? Let's just... All right, we're just close.
Our clinic is down in the crater, by the bomb. Doc Church is a little rough around the edges, but the man's got talent and compassion.
Hi, Meow. Alright, weapons dealer.
You'll probably want to see Moira at Craterside Supply.
Meow, meow.
She sells some weapons. Makes some
Yes,
too,
meow.
from what I hear. Her place is down by the crater.
Meow. Yes, meow.
Moira sells all kinds of stuff at her place. Craterside Supply. Take a guess where it is.
Captain. Alright. Where can I run a
Up
bed?
at Moriarty's at the south end of town.
Does Sherlock
Talk
know
to
that?
Nova. She'll help you out.
Okay. Is there a
Sure
bar?
is.
Oh, okay. No.
Just be careful.
Careful. He's not your
Moriarty
friend.
is
He's
not
fall
your
for
friend.
glass. For
No
God's
matter what
sakes,
he...
don't trust the man. Okay.
Sure thing. What's on your mind?
Let's discuss this bomb thing I keep hearing.
What about it?
Do you think someone should decide?
I don't trust any of the locals to tinker with it. Besides, most people don't even realize it's still a threat. And hell, Cromwell and those crazies from the Church of Adam, they worship the damn thing. Why? Do you think you got the know-how to disarm it? For good?
If the bomb ever explodes and do the world a favor. Oh my god. They're like channeling all the internet trolls on 4chan and like the one... Okay.
Oh, all right. Fine. But listen here. Let's take a look at it first. Go easy. If you get the job done, there'll be 100 caps in it for you.
Dude. 9%. Alright, I'll take a look
Great.
at it.
Go ahead and see what you can
It's
do.
100 casts more than I got
Just
right
be careful. Well, come to think of it, I do remember a stranger coming through here. Had a look in his eye. You know the kind a man gets when he's got a purpose. Spend some time up in the saloon. Might want to check with Moriarty. Just watch yourself. That man's trouble.
So you've said before. Tell me more about your town.
What do you want to know?
Sorry,
All right, shoot.
Bang. Oh, wait, sorry.
It's called the Wasteland,
The
for
Wasteland,
a reason.
for a reason.
But there are settlements too, spread all around. The human race is stubborn like that. To the south,
Except in
you've got
West
Rivet
Virginia.
City. But don't bother going to D.C. The place is a war zone.
Okay. There we go. I have to go.
Mind your manners now.
Yeah, whatever. Alright. Hold on. Let's take a look at our map real quick. Alright. Whoa. What? Hey, stop. Stop. Okay, Rivet City. Oh, so we're in Delmarva. Okay. That's good to know. Alright. Okay. Not that it means a whole lot. Alright. Clinic. Commons. Luxury Act. No. I don't really know what kind of education I got in Vault 101. It's hard to know. You might want to get that looked at. The brass lantern. Okay. Whatever. Mew. Mew. Hi, Brahmin. Steel iguana bits.
Every ear shall be stricken deaf to hear the thunder of his voice.
Confessor
Let the
Cromwell.
men, women, and children of the earth.
You looking to
come
trade, stranger?
forth to
Check out
gather
Craterside
and
Supply.
behold the power of
I like her
Adam.
haircut. It's kind of cute.
Let those who dwell here in his favored land attend now to the words of the
What's up here? Wow, this is actually a lot bigger than I expected. Of course, and I completely walked past it because I'm an idiot sometimes.
Ah, look. Another one of you wasteland assholes. Look here, asshole. I don't like you. Stay clear of me and we'll have no trouble.
Really? I'm a vault dweller, baby. You watch your language.
none of your fucking business.
Sure.
Heh, yeah, right. I don't think so. You're goddamn right, never mind. There ain't much to tell. I used to live out in the wastes. Was a real bastard back then. But I've put all that behind me.
Really? Have you ever considered getting back out there? I'm just putting it out there.
What? Back out where?
Oh my god, this is...
Why the fuck would you start saying it if you weren't? Back out where? What are you talking about? You know, I do miss it sometimes.
That's hilarious.
It's a life of freedom, you know?
I mean,
Come
I understand
on,
I'm a
washed
teenager,
up
but
raider.
oh my
What crew is gonna take me?
god.
These kids don't know nothing about respect.
Right, sounds terrible.
Yeah, you're right. Stupid idea anyway.
That's funny. What do you do
Me?
around here?
I don't do a damn thing. Well, unless you count staying pissed drunk and making Moriarty rich or something. Sure, I'm the best shot in town with the rifle, so everyone comes running to old Jericho when the raiders show up. But between raids, they're content to take my money and drag me home when I've had too much. A little drinking money might loosen my lips a bit. Give it a try. See what happens. You're gonna have to do better than that, kid. Thanks for the drink, though.
Alright, that's fine.
Come back if you need something.
Yeah, I don't think so. But thanks for what? Thanks for wasting my time and my money. I debated going top shelf. Probably should have. Oh well. It's all good, man. Requires a key. Ooh, that seems like something that you can probably get at some point. Because I haven't played any.
If you need to buy something, Moira up in Craterside Supply can help you. Watch out, though. She's different.
I've heard that. I've resumed at Moriarty, too. Wow. Well, it's an aircraft tail section. There's quite a lot of stuff here. This is fascinating. Women's restroom. Nathan and Manya's house. I guess Nathan and Manya are together. That is one of the problems with some of these things. Billy Creel's house. I guess Billy Creel is not with anyone. Moriarty's. Do I want to go to Moriarty's? Let's go to Moriarty's. Sure, let's go to Moriarty's. Alright. Cheers.
Good to
Come on,
see
you piece of junk.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that man. I saw him talking to Moriarty. It's hard to forget handsome men like that. Yeah, I'll help you. Then Moriarty kicks my sweet ass out the door. Sorry, kid. If you want to know more, Moriarty is the only one who's gonna help you. Talk to Gob. He hates Moriarty more than I do. Maybe he'll tell you something, but I doubt it. Well, for you, a room and some company will run you 120 caps, up front. Well, you aren't gonna get very far with no money.
Oh, you're right about that.
Huh? Oh, you mean why was Gob banging on that radio? Well, out there in the wastes, there are two stations that broadcast. There's the Enclave station. I don't know who they are, but I think it might just be some pre-war broadcast on a loop or something. And there's Galaxy News Radio. It's run by a guy named Three Dog, somewhere down in D.C., but the signal went down a while ago.
Oh no.
Who, Gob? Well, If you can get past how he looks, he's a sweetheart. Colin's awfully hard on him, though. He don't talk about it much, but apparently there's a whole city of ghouls somewhere down in D.C.
Oh, wow.
He's mentioned his mother a couple of times, but other than that, he won't really say. He's been here for, I guess about 15 years now. Ever since Moriarty bought him off those slavers.
Slavers, yay.
Well, the miserable bastard is hard on all of us, but Gob gets it the worst. I guess just because he's different, you know?
Alright.
With
Do you guys have any
Gob?
questions about
Well,
Fallout 76?
sweet,
Let's
and I
get
know
them
that
out
he'd
there.
like to.
If I don't have an answer,
It's just-
I will find one for
well,
you. So.
I don't want to sound shallow or anything. I mean, I'm a whore. My standards aren't exactly high. But there are places even I won't go. Johnnies that are squishier than me are one of them. Sure thing,
Okay.
baby. What did you have on your mind?
Okay, Nova.
You serious?
Yeah.
Oh, you must have come from that vault, right. It's the only free radio station left in the wasteland. The guy who runs it, Three Dog, he's like the only person who seems to give a shit.
So
He keeps talking about fighting the good fight or something.
Well, he is a
Better than the crap on the other station. I couldn't tell you, really. I talked to Manya if you care that much. She's lived in Megaton longer than anyone.
Okay, then. Well, I have to go.
Take care of yourself, hun.
Every day is the same damn thing.
I told you.
Colin Moriarty, at your service. Welcome to Moriarty's. My saloon, my home, my slice of heaven in this backwoods little burg. If you've got the caps, I've got your pleasure. Please sit down and make yourself comfortable. Your troubles are a thing of the past. My God, it's you. The little baby boy all grown up. Persistent little bastard, ain't you? Then and now, it would seem. It's been a long time, kid. Oh, your daddy passed through here all right. Here and gone. Got what he came for and then left. I'm assuming you'll do the same, correct? Is that what your father told you? That you were born in that hole? That he was born there as well? Oh, the lies we tell to those we love. Your father brought you to the vault right after you were born. To keep you safe, you see. I remember it well. You stayed in my saloon, after all. That's right. Your father, his Brotherhood of Steel friend, and you, the suckling babe with nary a tit to suckle. Sorry about your mom, truly.
Well,
but life goes on.
So
Daddy lied.
Dead right on.
Life's full of little disappointments. And now you're all grown up and wondering where he's gone to. Ah, I see. You know, I heard about the brainwashing that goes on down there. From some other fella, escaped. Oh, 5 years back.
What the hell?
All hail the overseer. We're born in the vault, we die in the vault, and all that other assorted lunacy.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Kid,
what we heard.
you've got better programming than our own Deputy Weld. You'd best wise up quick. Wouldn't want anyone taking advantage of you, hmm?
Or beat it out of you. Yeah.
You seem like a nice kid, so I'm going to be straight with you.
Yes,
Your
please.
dad was here, and now he's not. And yes, I know where he went. But what you're asking me for is information, and information is a commodity. Let's say 100 cops.
100
And
caps?
Daddy's location is yours. Very reasonable. All right, kid. Then I guess there's nothing else we have to say to each other. Come back to me when you have the caps and we'll talk.
I've got
Your
like
gob, it
12.
ain't the radio. The Enclave station comes in fine.
How much do I have? Out of curiosity. I've got 56.
Galaxy News.
Yes.
Their signal's been shit lately.
All right, you know what? Let's go down. Let's sell some of this crap. I got a whole bunch of stuff I gotta get rid of. So I gotta go down to the crater's edge. Go to Moira's. So let's go to Moira's. Okay. Up here. There's Whoa, okay, well, there's a down there. That was not quite what I expected, but that worked, right?
Atom, come, bestow your presence on your unworthy. We stay true.
Oh boy, I got raving kitty running around. Local cult? Is it? Yes. That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. All right, what's this? What's this? That's Megaton Clinic. I don't need the clinic. There's food.
Men, women, and children of
That's
the earth.
brass lantern. I don't need a brass lantern.
To gather and behold the power of Atom. Let those who dwell
That's Mr. Burke's house.
come forth and drink the waters of the globe.
Local cult. That was pretty fun. And they didn't change it, which is pretty funny.
Let it serve as a reminder
Children of the Atom. Did not want to join the Children of the Atom, but thank you anyway. Armory. Alright, that's the armory. Don't want to go there. Oh boy. So as I said, we're just talking about Fallout 76, so if you guys have any questions or any comments about Fallout 76 that we do. We did do a whole bunch of stuff for Creeper Site Supply. Oh wait, what? Why are you locked? Trying to go. Grr, I say. Need more caps. I gotta sell stuff. Water processing plant. Okay. So we're talking about a bunch of different things that have happened over the last couple of weeks. In particular, the appearance at QuakeCon that Todd Howard and I believe it's Greg and Jeff did with the changes to the game, and they had appearance that talked about a whole bunch of different things that were going on, which is cool, but unfortunately they didn't answer some of my main questions. Some of the questions I still have are sort of how's the server set up? So I'm kind of looking for more technical details about the servers. Are items moved from server to server? So if I build a camp in one place, does that exist on all servers? Does that just exist on that server? If I leave, does it come with me? If I come back, do I only go back to that server? If I'm only going back to that server, do I have another, let's say I have a friend who's in a different server, can they join me? As I recall them saying, there's nothing like WoW where you get to pick your server. They're sort of automatically assigned one. So that sort of opens up a whole bunch of questions about, are you just going to team up with people who happen to be there on the game at the same time? Maybe, I'm not sure. So I'm a little concerned about that. And let's see, it is 8:03. Is it 8:03 a.m. or 8:03 p.m.? I'm not sure if it's a 24-hour time or not. Hard to tell. Anyway, so there's a whole bunch of questions that I've got about sort of how all it's going to work. Right now it's unclear. So if I build something somewhere and I leave, does it go with me? Does it stay there? If I then log into a different server, is it created there as well? Does it remove it from here? Well, how? What? You tell me, please, Bethesda. What's going on with this? The other thing is, let's say we have a whole bunch of people that are in a group. We got 4 people. 1 person leaves. Do they get stuff? Do they get any of the things that we built? Let's say that 1 person drops off and there's only 1 person left. Do they get all the things that were built in the base? Well, if every person leaves, do they take the stuff that they built with them? What if do we have a common building workshop? I mean, so one thing I could think is that people could potentially put items into a community workbench, and then you can then have situations where people are going to be like, okay, well, let's do what do you call it? Let's have everybody using their different. They use this common stuff to build the items that they want, and then they could persist those kind of thing. But I'm just not sure. Then we've got, oh yes, good, she's opened. And then we've got the questions about griefing. They did do finally some good stuff around that.
I hear you're that stray from the vault. Oh, I haven't seen one of you for years. Good to meet you. I'm Moira Brown. I run Craterside Supply. But what I really do is mostly tinkering and research.
Yeah, there you go.
Say, I'm working on a book about the wasteland. It'd be great to have the foreword by a vault dweller. Help me out, would you?
Sure.
Great. Just tell me what it's like to live underground all your life, or to come outside for the first time, or whatever strikes your fancy.
Bow before my glory. It was cramped, dark, and the food sucked. Good riddance. Yeah. This outside in the main room, I can't even see the ceiling.
Yeah, you wouldn't imagine how hard it is to replace that big light bulb up there, too. That's great for a forward.
Well played.
Open with a joke and all that. Here, take the suit. Something tells me you might need it. That'll be good for the book. In fact, want to help me with the research? I can pay you, and it'll be fun.
Dang, an armored jumpsuit. Sure.
Let's see. Dealing with radiation, testing an experimental device, and, don't lie, it may include some reading. That sort of stuff, you know? But for all that, I can pay you with caps, meds, chems, and maybe even a few of those unique inventions, if you do a good job. Interested?
Hells yes.
Well, it's a dangerous place out there in the wastes, right? People could really use a compilation of good advice, like a wasteland survival guide. For that, I need an assistant to test my theories. I wouldn't want anyone to get hurt because of a mistake. Nobody's ever happy when that happens. No, then they just yell a lot at me with mean, mean words.
Oh, that's really sad. Okay. Hey, Night Chancellor. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'll help with the survival guide.
All right, then. Now, I think the first chapter will have to be about surviving day-to-day dangers. Things like where it is and isn't safe to find food, the dangers of radiation, and how to avoid and even profit from dangerous landmines. Ooh, sounds like fun, doesn't it? Which do you want to do first? Well, food and medicine. Everyone needs them once in a while, right? So they need a good place to find them. There's an old super-duper mart not far from here. I need to know if a place like that still has any food or medicine left in it.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, great! Food is most important, but see if you can get medicine too. Okay. And if there's nothing to find, then just come back in one piece, okay?
Okay. Let's see. Let's see what you have for sale.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. I would like to. No. Let's see. LT. There it is. All right. I would like to sell. Sell those two. Let's see. Take this armored jumpsuit. Ooh, that's a nice jumpsuit. All right, I'm gonna start using that guy. You know what? I'm gonna sell the BBs. The BB gun. And let's sell the baseball. And the beer. And the butter knife. And the cup. Yep, 11 of those. And the 10 darts. Empty whiskey bottle. Underneath clipboard. Drinking glass. Sell the mines. Don't need those. Sell the jet. Sure. Oh, she doesn't have that much. Crap. All right. But hold on a second. Maybe I can. Let's see. Leather armor. Ooh, leather armor. Hold on a second. Because the armor jumpsuit's 12, 15, 180. The leather armor is 14. Okay. That's still more than she's got. Okay. Oh, come on. Accept. There we go. Yes, 220. Okay. And she's got one cap left.
Good hunting. Oh, I couldn't do that. It'd be a real blow to those nice folks in the church. Besides, it's not like that bomb ever hurt anyone. Live and let live, right?
Alright, have to go now.
Take care. It's a big wasteland, but you know that better than me, right?
Okay, you're really silly, Mario. I like you a lot, but you're very silly. Cool. Alright, let's go, hi. Hi, Maggie.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I live with Billy Creel. Do you know him? He's not my dad or anything, but he takes care of me now. Anyway, I should go. Bye. It's okay, I guess. I used to live way far away when I was little, before Billy found me. Billy does. Have you met Billy? Billy Creel? A long, long time ago, he saved me from raiders. They killed my real parents, but Billy showed up before they got me. And now he's like my daddy. Sort of. I don't talk to most of them. Billy says that I have to be careful, even when people seem nice. And I'm especially not allowed to talk to Mr. Jericho. I usually play with Hardin most days, when his dad isn't taking him out to learn to shoot or something. Billy says that he's going to teach me to shoot one day, too.
Okay, Maggie.
Bye, mister.
Take care. It's been fun, kid.
What? No. Go away.
Alright. Okay. I think we might... Oh, hello. Oh, you know what I need to get? I need to go back down and talk to Mario. I need ammunition. Just want to do that before I go too far. Put my gun away. Okay.
So, how's the scabbing been? Oh, well...
Oh, okay, hold on. That's what you have for sale.
What do you need?
It's some ammo. Ammo, there we go. Yes. Yes, all of them. All the ammo. Okay. What do you have for weapons? A missile launcher. Yeah, I don't need a missile launcher. What does the hunting rifle take? 32. Oh, really? Oh, no. Sure. Ooh. Okay. Okay. There we go. She's got 2 caps now.
Good hunting.
Alright, have to go down. Thanks. Thanks, Mara. Appreciate it. Okay. Alrighty. I gotta figure out my hit points aren't healing up fast. You know, let me see what she has for aid. She likes stim packs or something. Take a look at myself real quick. Stats. You see, I'm in bad shape. I didn't realize that stim packs. So stim packs do not work this way in Fallout 4. So that's why I'm a little confused.
You know, I think I found a new way to prepare
Okay. Aid. Stim packs. Holy Hannah. Okay. Let's see what we got here. See what we can sell. Don't know that I've got that much I can sell here. Sell that guy. Sell those 2 guys. All right. Okay, that's more than I want to give. So what did I buy that I want to get rid of? Stim packs. Okay. Wait. Okay. There we go. Okay. Cool.
Good hunting. Try not
to die. I'll work very hard on that. Thanks, Mario. Okay. So yeah, so some of the other things we talked about were the perk cards and all the things that they've got going on with perks, which I think is pretty cool. The fact that it's going to be really kind of open-ended like that, I think is going to be very interesting to see what happens with the perks.
A traveler, eh?
Hi, Lucy.
I don't recognize you. New in town or something?
Yeah.
I hope by something to do you mean a job. Otherwise, you want to talk with Nova. Yeah. I'm looking for someone to make a delivery. Interested?
Sure, why not?
Great. I'd like you to deliver this message to my family in the Arafu settlement. I haven't heard from them in months, and I'm worried. As soon as you get there, talk to Davis West. He'll be glad to pay you for the trip. Sure. Be glad to, since you're doing me a big favor and all. Arafu is northwest of Megaton, on an old overpass over the Potomac. If you follow what's left of the river, you can't miss it.
Okay. Meow. Hi, meow. Oh, there you are.
No, not really. Maybe my letters just aren't arriving. Whatever you can do to get it there would sure be appreciated.
Okay, then. Who else lives there?
Well, let's see. There's Evan. Then there's my family, the Ewer family. And a lady who lives alone named Karen Shenzi. What? Apart from the wasteland critters, slaver raiding parties, raider hit squads, and occasional landmine? No, it's completely safe. If this was easy, I'd go myself, you know.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Okay. Hey, thanks again for doing this for me.
Sure, no problem.
My.
Mr. Burke.
Just when I had all but given up hope. My dear boy, I'm very happy to make your acquaintance.
Oh, okay.
I am Mr. Burke. And you, well, you are not a resident of this putrescent cesspool. That makes you a rather valuable individual.
Mr. Burke, is it? Please continue. I found myself enthralled.
Finally, someone with a modicum of civility and common sense. I represent certain interests, and those interests view this town, this megaton, as a blight on a burgeoning urban landscape. You have no connections here, no interest in this cesspool's affairs or fate. You could assist us in erasing this little accident off the map.
Yes, meow.
No. I'm merely a recruiter. You get to have the real fun. The undetonated atomic bomb for which this town is named is still very much alive. All it needs is a little motivation. I have in my possession a fusion pulse charge. Once rigged to the bomb, it will be detonated by you at a secure location. Easy money, my friend.
Let's see.
Sims is an idiot. He prides himself on his position as mayor and sheriff of Scrapyard.
Ooh, it's here early. No, I wish it was Star Fox. Thank you so much for the follow there, Star Fox. It's actually not here early. We are just simply talking about Fallout 76 tonight. We've got quite a few things that have come out over the last couple of weeks, and we are. And thank you for the host. I appreciate that. We are just been talking about a couple things that have come out with the camp system and the griefing system that they talked about, which I really like what they've done there. And perks was one of the things that I heard of that really interested me. And then what do you call it? Some of the leveling information they got. And my cat desperately wants to say hi. And also how charisma is going to work, because with the fact that there are no NPCs, what's charisma going to be useful for? It's the C. It's the middle of the word. It's special, and we don't know what it's supposed to do. So that kind of thing. So I was trying to figure out what we're doing, but the beta is going to drop in about 6 weeks. So I will be playing it as much as I can after that drops, so you guys can get a chance to get some early exposure to it. And then I'm going to be dropping, talking about the gameplay and all that. One of the things that we do know about the beta is that it's primarily going to be for some tweaks to the game, maybe some nerfing and buffing that's going to happen, as well as some small changes, but mostly it's going to be a stress test. What they don't want to have happen, and I completely understand, is they don't want to launch the game and then have it so that nobody can play because there are no servers available, kind of thing. So, Maximilian, okay. Nope. You have worn out your welcome, dude. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, kitten cat. Have fun. So the question here is just going to be kind of, what can we do about those things? The one thing that I did hear from Todd Howard that really encouraged me is that they're going to be looking at this game as a long-term extended investment. This is not like hey, let's drop it and we're going to sort of wash our hands and you guys are all done. The big thing here is, okay, we're watching how the game is being played. We're seeing what's happening. We're seeing the benefits and the detriments, pros and cons. Where can we make tweaks? Where can we make substantive changes to really improve the game? So there's going to be quite a few conversations happening at Bethesda after the game launches to figure out what they can do. I think part of the beta, and this happens with Black Ops 4 when they did the private beta weekends just over the last couple weeks. So I played that, and given the fact that it's just the going to be that and some sort of battle royale kind of scenario, I'm not sure that I would play that game. If there's not going to be a single player campaign, if it's not going to be some of the things. I'm not really a fan of kind of where they've gone with this whole modern weaponry stuff and super soldiers and stuff. My favorite Black Ops was the first one, set in the 60s and the 70s, mostly 60s, a little bit late, early 70s and stuff. I thought that was just brilliant. So many cool things happened there. And working with, existing and old, in that case, weapons and that kind of stuff. I just thought it was great. all this new stuff and fighting in spacecraft, no, just not for me. So what Blops did, though, which was kind of cool, was that they said, hey, look, we're gonna do this stuff, and then we're gonna tweak everything while you guys are playing. So we're gonna see how this game plays, and we're gonna buff this and nerf that, and see if we can, you know, level the game out a little bit and do some armor things. They introduced a couple of new modes. They introduced Heist, which is in essence Counter-Strike, and then they had a couple other pretty good games kind of played out there, and the game modes. So some cool stuff, but again, you know, just for me, it's not really feeling like it's going to be a great game from that perspective, because it's set in a milieu I don't like, and it's set with guns I don't like, and with super soldiers, as opposed to, you know, just not having the multiplayer. If it was that same game but set in the 1960s or even the 80s, I probably would get it. But given where it is, and that's the only thing that's available, probably not. Ghosts I thought was brilliant, but anyway. But for Fallout 76, the benefit here, I think, is that they are going to be looking at the game as a living organism, and they're going to be looking at trying to move this in the same way that WoW is doing it, the same way that EQ did it for a long time, and that you've got, you know, Elder Scrolls Online, that it's a living, breathing organism that they're going to be trying to nurture on the path. So they're going to be trying to make improvements to it and increase, you know, change things, introduce new stuff. So I'm a little intrigued to see how that's going to work. There are definitely some questions in my mind about the DLC, about modding. They do know that modding is something that they want to do, but they're not sure how they're going to do it. I'm like, that's fine, but we got to figure out how that's all going to work. And there's also just elements of I think in general, just the system, or the fact that it's not player versus environment in a single player mode, that it's going to be multiple players and they're all going to be playing for their own things, and some of them are going to be teamed up and some of them are not. It does introduce an awful lot of dynamics. Now, it's good that they've got the team from Ultima Online, in essence, at least some of the lead developers from that group. So they have people who have experience doing that and some expertise there, which is fabulous. At the same time, I think this is kind of a different style of game, and the fact that Bethesda really can't nail down what the game is. They can't say, you know, I mean, when you're selling a movie script, you say, oh, well, it's like Titanic meets, you know, Walking Dead. You know, okay, not sure how those would go together, but all right, sure. And they don't seem to be able to figure out what this game is. Is it Rust? Is it Fallout 4 multiplayer? Is it they're kind of swirling around and they haven't really come up with anything, which tells me it's going to be a very different experience than what we're used to or that we've ever seen. It might be similar to something like that haven't seen in a long time, or that was so niche that you'd have to be like, well, it's like this Japanese game that was released in 2004 that was only alive for a year, but okay, well, I mean, hey, at least it's something, right? So I'm kind of curious, but I'm intrigued by it, and I'm actually excited to kind of see how it's going to play out. I think that the fact that it's going to be multiplayer only is definitely a detriment. I think, though, that there's going to be some benefit in pushing players into multiplayer experiences. Now, whether you actually run across anybody or not is completely random, I think, because there's these maps are so much larger than anything you've experienced before. And we're playing with only dozens of players, not hundreds or thousands. So it's not like running around WoW or EverQuest or something like that, where you're going to see, you know, 300,000 people on the server at a time kind of thing. I know it's not that, but it feels like that. Instead, it's going to be like, you know, less than 40. So the fact that the map is 4 times larger than Fallout 4, your likelihood of running across somebody is actually kind of low. Unless you're going after the same kinds of things. You're on the same quests, or you're going to the same community workbenches and that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to work. Like I said, I think the dynamic there is going to be really interesting. And I know that if they offered a single player version, that's all anybody would play. There would be a small subset of players who would actually just play the multiplayer version. Now, they are going to offer the single player as, in essence, a private server that you'll have to rent, I'm guessing. And you can play the game that way, which it's probably not that horrible, but I think it's going to be more interesting to play it with friends and stuff. So I think in the same way that you had like an EQ, Dark Age of Camelot, WoW sort of, or EVE Online, where you had, you know, like different groups coming together and sort of, you know, combining their resources together to complete higher level quests. I think that's going to be something that they're going to do. But I do know, based upon the interviews that Todd Howard has given, that it's not just that. You know, you don't have to level, you don't have to clan in order to succeed, which is good. So, say it as I did help.
You mean, besides doing the world a favor by removing this pestilent scab of a town? Why,
yes.
You'd be rewarded most handsomely. My employer is a very generous man. If it's bottle caps and luxury you're seeking, you shall have it.
Okay, then. Oh, you can't hear me. Oh, no. Okay. Is that any better, Star Fox? Let me just see here real quick. I'm hoping that's been okay. Okay. You know what? I'm going to turn the gain up a little bit on the microphone. Gain up. Okay. You don't want to push the gain up too high, but all right. So I think the big thing from my perspective, like I said, is just we know it's not going to be single player. There's going to be definitely some things that we're going to have to worry about with the what do you call it? With the game from a multiplayer perspective. If you want to play it single player, you're going to have to wait till they offer private servers. Private servers are also probably where you're going to be able to mod stuff, so there's going to be that element as well. The other piece is that the whole griefing system, I think, is really interesting. But one thing that they've done, and I really haven't heard how this is going to work at all, is how we're going to do things for what do you call it? How the servers are going to work. They haven't explained from a technical perspective how the servers work. So if you're on one server and all your stuff is there and you leave and you log back in again, are you put back onto that server? Is it sort of like linked to that server, or you just go to any other server? I've heard that they're talking about it's sort of like a server pool and you just sort of go onto one that's there. Okay. But I built stuff. Is that stuff in the world that I left? Is it not in the world that I left? Does it come with me when I leave? So that's a huge question mark in my mind. It's just what's going to happen with that. I think, to answer your question, A Cookies, I believe the answer is that they've been looking at crossplay between PC and Xbox. I believe Sony is still out in the cold. There's just a lot of problems with PS4 and PS3 with these kinds of things. So most of them, what they look at is, because it's going to be an online game, because it's going to have that, I believe it will be crossplay. But you're not going to be able to mod your version of your local. I mean, that could be something that they're going to have to take a look at. Like I said, it's one of those things where modding is going to be kind of weird. It depends on how they've designed the architecture of the system. So, for instance, when we were playing Quake back in the day, Quake 2 and stuff, you could design your own custom skins for your character, which was kind of cool, and custom models. And what happened was that when you joined a server, that other people who were playing on that server would have to download your skin. So people would do all black skins because they were ninjas. And what you would do is you would download it, and for that one game, you'd get your ass kicked because you couldn't find the guy because he was black in a black room with black textures, and you weren't going to find him. The next time, though, what you would do is you would go out and you would modify that texture to be like bright pink. And so he's all being stealthy in his hot pink ninja costume over in the corner, and you're like, dude, I can see you from a mile away, and you tag him. Then they had to offer the opportunity, then they had to offer the option of not downloading player skins, and they would just look as regular grunts. So I think the problem that we're going to run into with this game is that if people are modding their local games, it's going to affect how the game is going to play. But how much of it is on the local system, how much is on the server, those sort of balances, you know, when you've got a spectrum of how much content is over here versus here, you can draw that line wherever you want to. And if you draw it too far towards the server, then there's too little, then it's too much work on the server end. And if you push it too far toward the client and put too much on the client, then people can screw around with it too much. So there's a delicate balance there, and I'm going to be curious to see what Bethesda does with that. But I believe the answer is that they're probably going to have... Oh, sorry. I believe the answer is yes, they'll have crossplay between PC and Xbox, simply because of how their game is being structured. In actuality, they may not allow for it, just because of the assets are going to be so different and all that kind of stuff. But given the fact that it's a networking game, I can't imagine that that's at least not on their radar if it's not going to be part of the day zero launch stuff. So there's that. But like I said, if you've got, sorry, I got a whisker in my mouth. If you've got stuff on one server and you're going to be going to a different server, you're just going to be sort of picking whatever server is best available, which is kind of how things like Call of Duty work and that kind of thing. Then that's great, but it's not really helpful because, like, does your stuff stay? Does your stuff not stay? If you log back in, you know, are you only going to log into things where you have stuff? I'm not sure. It's going to be hard to know kind of how all that dynamic is going to work. And right now, we just don't have any answers. So I was saying earlier, I'm probably going to be tweeting to the guys, to the development managers and stuff, and the project leads, and saying, hey, look, how are you guys going to handle this? Because right now, I'm not seeing anything. I've been watching the interviews and reading the panels and stuff like that, and they're just not having any real content like that. That's all very fluffy in essence, but because they can't describe it, I think is kind of making it hard for people to figure out what questions do we ask. So out of sort of the 5 things that I'm thinking of, you know, with the camp blueprints, how all that's going to work, you know, are you going to blueprint things and then have other stuff, so when somebody you know, if you don't blueprint, then does your stuff all just, if it gets blown up, it gets blown up and you're screwed? Or does it automatically blueprint? If you blueprint, you know, I mean, I know you can just pack it up and take it somewhere else, but then how does it unpack it? There's just a lot of questions like that. They've tried to answer some of them, but they haven't really answered some of the deeper questions I have about it. They just kind of glossed over and said, oh, there's this blueprint thing and you can set up your blueprint somewhere else. You've kind of mentioned that before. The one thing you talked about at QuakeCon that I really liked was the griefing system. And I think that the griefing system is really interesting. You can't be attacked in PvP until you're level 5, which is great. Gives you a chance to sort of get your sea legs and figure out how the game is played before you're actually eligible for that. The fact that it's a challenge kind of system, so someone will sort of slap you with a weapon attack, and then you get to respond or not, and if you don't respond, then they're not gonna, then you won't go engage in combat with them. They can still slap you and try to attack you. Pikachu, calm down, dude. If they attack you and kill you, then they become a wanted murderer, and then everybody on the map knows where they are and can try to hunt them down and kill them, which is kind of cool. So it prevents sort of that assholery that can happen with you know, people trying to grief someone. The other thing is you can mute and block people so that they can't find you for, I think it's like 24 hours. And so at least at that point, there might be some permanent kind of stuff there as well. But the idea being that at least you can kind of prevent somebody from like trying to hunt you down multiple times and kill you, which would just really suck. And then the fact that you can set yourself up to have pacifist bullets so that they won't hurt other players. So if you're firing at a target and somebody walks in front of your shot, or you accidentally, you're like that, the target moves and you spray and you hit somebody, you're not challenging that person. You're just it'll just simply just bounce off and then do no harm kind of thing. So you can choose to never initiate combat, which would be kind of cool. Although I don't know how easily you can turn it off so that you could then engage in combat if you wanted to do PvP. So I'm not sure about that. We talked about charisma and the fact that the charisma system is that we talk about the perks, all the special perks, and the fact that C is right in the middle. and it is mostly used for NPCs. But since there are no NPCs, what use is charisma? The benefit, of course, is that it's going to help your teammates. So what you're going to be able to do is actually do some stuff where you'll be able to share benefits with your team if you've got a high charisma score. So that's what they're going to do. So tweaking it to make it more team-based. And what you can do is if you have a whole bunch of things, if you're going to clan up with some folks for a while, then you can swap out your perks and make it so that you're going to benefit your team, especially if you have a higher charisma. So it'll be kind of cool. They are going to prevent you from doing stuff with the, what do you call it, assigning points to your abilities. You won't be able to assign any more abilities after you hit level 50. So you're only going to get 50 points to distribute among all of the different systems and all the different attributes, and the maximum level is 15. So you're going to be able to put 50 points in, but then you're going to end up with a pretty specialized character at that point. You're not going to really have either a very generalist character or a very specialized character, but you're not going to be able to really continue to just pump points and max everything out. It's going to be at your 50 points and you're done. That part of that is to preserve the power curve between players as opposed to the player and the environment. In a game like Skyrim or Fallout, or that the power curve, you can just continue to grow and grow and grow, and the monsters just keep getting harder to kill and stuff. Whereas on a multiplayer game, you can't really do that. So they try to at least cap it a little bit from one perspective to do that. You'll still be able to earn perks, and you'll still be able to get perk cards, and you'll be able to unlock that stuff as you level up. You'll still be able to level up past 50. You just won't be able to spend points on your attributes past 50. So hopefully that'll help.
Now that is a disappointment.
And then the last thing I was talking
if
about
you change
was...
your mind, the offer still stands.
All right, Mr. Burke.
Good day.
Good day. I said good day, sir. Okay. The last thing was the perk cards. So when you start the game, you've got 1 point in each of your attributes, and then you can unlock your perks. And then what you can do is you can slot them into any of those perks, those slots that you have available. As you level up your attributes, you unlock more perk card abilities. And so what will happen is that you can kind of toss in and say, okay, well, now I want to go do this, or I want to go do that.
I want to talk to you.
Hold on, let's see what's going on here.
What do you need?
All right.
I was thinking, maybe you and me, we could go out sometime.
You're sweet, Jericho. You really are. But Colin says that things between us is best kept on a professional level.
Yes, professional. Okay. So the last thing with perk cards, and every 2 levels up until level 10, you're going to get a perk card booster pack. Just like a Magic the Gathering booster pack, you'll end up with some more cards, that kind of stuff, and you'll be able to what do you call it? Kind of use all that. Can I sit? I can sit. Let me go sit. So you'll be able to do a whole bunch of stuff, and you'll unlock a whole bunch of different perks. You also get a joke in a game. Oh, thank you! I love this mug. This is my favorite. We got this at the Renaissance Festival, and it's got little dragon stuff on it. I guess, yeah, it's kind of dragony. But thank you, appreciate that. And so like I said, so you'll get the booster packs, and then it's going to unlock a whole bunch of things that you wouldn't normally pick. So every time that you level up, you okay there, Gob? Are you checking him? Dude, what the hell, man? Okay. Anyway, perk cards. Let's talk about perk booster packs. So every time you level up, you get to get a new boost, get another pack. Another perk. So you'll get a perk card, and then you can use that perk card to slot into whatever you have been using for your attributes. But every 2 levels until level 10, and then every 5 levels thereafter, you're going to get a booster pack, and that's going to unlock a whole bunch of other perks that you wouldn't normally get. And what'll be nice is that you're going to be able to see kind of, they'll have some things that are a little bit further ahead for you. So it might be like, oh, well, you've only got a perception of 2, but if you've got a perception of 4, you can use this perk. And so it might encourage you to spend some points in a perk, in an attribute that you wouldn't normally spend them in, like luck or even charisma, because you want to get the benefit of having that particular perk available. So that's one of the differences that they're going to be looking at adding, which I think is going to be kind of cool. So, but it is going to be a very different way of doing the game than it was before. So it's definitely going to be a little bit interesting. So, all right. Any other questions about Fallout 76 that I can hopefully answer for you? And like I said, if I don't have any answers, I am going to be trying to get some answers to some things, especially those things that are really concerning me right now, that I haven't gotten really clear guidance from them on. But if you guys have something, otherwise I think I might go end it here in about 10 minutes here. So because it is a late night. And while it is a holiday here in the U.S. tomorrow, I do still have a life that I need to not be completely dead for in the morning. So, let's talk to God. We even talked to God.
Hey, Smoothskin, you need something? A drink, maybe? Anything? Anything at all?
Let me think about it for a moment, my good man.
You're not gonna hit me, yell at me, not even berate me a little bit?
I'll beat you in if I feel like it. Nah.
Well, now, that's a surprise. I'm used to every asshole smoothing in this town.
Are there healing classes or healing type of abilities?
Glad to see that
I
there are a few
think
worthwhile
there are healing type abilities that if you have the charisma perks, that you can share that with your team. So I think from one perspective it's kind of there-ish, but not like directly like I'm a medic or something and I run around. I believe you can always just transfer items to your teammates and stuff, and so if you've got a whole bunch of stim packs, for instance, and you can use those. I think in general that it's sort of more just a passive
Honestly,
kind of thing.
I usually keep my head down. I tend to get around if I look customers in the eyes. But talk to Moriarty, he'll know more. That's his way. Always putting cat before people's lives. I wish someone would stand up to him one day. Oh my, I shouldn't be saying all of this. I'm sorry, I really must get to work. I can't get involved. I'm so sorry. A place called Underworld. It's a ghoul city down in D.C. I set off up here to find adventure and fortune. And, well, I found this place. I'm sort of stuck here. Colin says that I can't leave until I pay off my debt to him. Of course, he charges me room and board, too. If you ever
too,
get to
Cookies. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Tell Carol that I said hi.
And yeah, if you have any questions, just drop me a line. You can just tweet at me. I'm at Gizmo Devo on Twitter. Just tweet and ask, and I will dig up some stuff. And when I do another Fallout episode, I'll let you know.
Mr. Moriarty says we can keep it on. It's a radio station. I like hearing the DJ, Three Dog, and how he's helping to fight the good fight.
Good Triumph fan there.
Instead of being stuck in this dive.
Bonus points if you guys...
I can't talk about...
Alright. Okay, alright.
Don't hit me.
Alright. Okay. There's Nova. There's Lucy. Alright.
What is it, hun? Well, for you...
Sure.
Right at the top of the stairs, huh?
Okay.
Take care of yourself, hun.
Alrighty. Get some rest. I have no idea what we're doing. On the top of the stairs. Open shack. Door. Oh, well, she said on the top of the stairs. Okay, there we go. Alright. Yay, my bed. Thank goodness. Okay. Oh, look. It's a pot to piss in. Okay. Alright. Let's see. It's 11:50 a.m. Let's do 6 hours. Okay.
Cooking's free. The rest will cost ya. Hey, baby. What do you need?
What's this take to hire you?
It takes you renting a room. Sleep in it or don't. I don't care. I get paid either way.
All right, there we go. All right. Have to go down.
Take care of yourself,
okay.
hon.
I think we auto-saved
So
there.
what is it now?
All right. Aw. Okay. Okay, cool. So, we will go ahead and end it there. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it for those of you who stuck it out for a while. Like I said, if you have any questions about Fallout 76, just let me know, and I will try to dig up the information. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Gizmo DeVoe. I'm also Gizmo DeVoe on YouTube and Twitch and Mixer. So feel free to just drop me a line, drop a comment on the video on YouTube or something, or just tweet to me. And I appreciate it. Obviously, you know, there's the usual. If you're on Mixer or Twitch, please click follow. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Click like in the video. Click the bell icon. I'll tell you what to do. Well, it'll tell you when I put up a new video. I do this about 3 times a week. I try to at least. I have Mech Warrior Monday where we do BattleTech on Mondays. We're playing the campaign all the way through. We have Way Back Wednesday. We're playing old school video games. We just started playing Wing Commander 3, Heart of the Tiger, from 1994. So that's been kind of fun. And then we do Fallout Friday every other Friday, and we do FPS Friday on the other Fridays. So try to keep it fresh, try to keep it interesting, playing some games. Probably bring back Call of Duty World War II this Friday, just because it's been a while since I played it. And then we'll bring some Fallout back in a couple weeks. But I'm trying to keep Fallout to an every week kind of thing, or every other week kind of thing, so at least we're getting some exposure, especially as we ramp up toward Fallout 76. So if anything, please ping me. Otherwise, Pikachu and I will see you on the other side. Until then, cheers. Some good stuff. And take care. Bye.